Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. What is going on, everybody? Actually, what is up, everybody? Because I know what's up. It is our anxiety, it is our blood pressure, and we haven't even gotten to kick off yet in this one. The stairway to 7 begins here tonight for our Pittsburgh Steelers in the friendly confines of Acrisure Stadium, as tonight our black and gold look to keep the momentum going from that thrilling Week 18 game against the Baltimore Ravens and have that momentum catapult them into a deep playoff run that hopefully ends with our beloved Steelers hoisting the Lombardi Trophy once again. However, to reach that sacred game, that sacred accomplishment, that sacred destination, a massive first step must be taken tonight. That step is beating the Houston Texans, a very, very formidable foe, one of the hottest teams in football, and also the Steelers exorcising some postseason demons that have haunted this franchise for damn near a decade now. How the Steelers may be able to take this first step within the next 20 to 25 minutes, we will go over top storylines heading into tonight's AFC wildcard matchup, some key battles to pay attention to on the field, who is in and who is out for both squads, and time permitting, hopefully time permitting, my final predictions for this big game. But before we do that, as usual, if you are new here, welcome to the Steel City Sports Report. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button. We have reached 700 subscribers. Actually, we're over that right now, 701. So before we get too deep into the show here, thank you all very, very much for helping this channel reach 700 subscribers in this quick amount of time. I appreciate you all very, very much who have done so up to this point. If you have not done so, please hit that subscribe button. It's the least you can do. Also, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, leave a like on tonight's live stream. Share tonight's live stream, and in the comment section, thoughts, questions, opinions, anything on your mind that you may have, get those in there. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. To the comment section, we go to begin tonight already. Freight Train in the comments. He was here first before any of us. Let's freaking go, says Freight Train. He's pumped up. Concepts is in here. Hope everyone is doing well after that weekend. It was a good weekend here. Thank you for the non-football question concepts. You always bring that element of things here to the channel. THP, let's go Rogers from him. Mean Green, go Steelers, just win, baby. Thomas Dowdy in here. The whole crew is here on this wild card finale here on this Monday night. Glad to have all of you here. I was saying on Steelers Almighty that we score more than 7 in the first. We win easily. We never score in the first. Got to have a good start. That is a part of my pregame notes here, Freight Train. Good comment from you. Glad to have you all with us. We begin tonight, as always, with some pregame news and notes. Top storylines heading into this one. The top storyline that I have first, of course, welcome to the 2025 NFL playoffs. I'm sure all of us watched those playoff matchups that, took place over the weekend. And it's safe to say that every single matchup was cinematic. There were amazing plays, questionable calls, fourth quarter lead changes in every single contest except for the one last night. Tonight will hopefully be the grand finale to this Super Wild Card weekend as the 12-5 Houston Texans travel to Western Pennsylvania to take on our 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. The Texans, the top wild card team of the AFC at the number 5 spot. They were barely beaten out in their own division title race by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, our Steelers scrapping their way to becoming AFC North champions for the first time since 2020 and are the number 4 seed in these playoffs. Also, moving into story number 2 here, both teams come into this one tonight with some momentum of their own. The Texans, they had a historic season after stumbling out of the gates. They are winners, the Texans are, of their last 9 straight games to end the regular season, and they become the 7th team in NFL history to make the playoffs after an 0-3 start to the season. Amazing stuff from them. As for the Steelers, we all know we've been here for every single snap of every single game this year. It's been up and down. That wasn't much different for the ending of the season. The final play of the final regular season game, Week 18 against the Baltimore Ravens, a missed kick to end a back-and-forth classic has rejuvenated this team and this city of Pittsburgh, this fan base, into thinking that this year might be a little bit different. What I mean by that is that there is legit hope that the Steelers could get their first playoff win since January 15th of 2017. Now, I'll admit, going back in that time, I was mostly just a hockey kid. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they were winning championships galore. That was the beginning of the downfall for the Killer Bees era. Steelers have not seen any playoff success since back then. Hopefully, we have legitimate hope, I believe, that changes tonight. The Texans, they're also looking for a first of their own in this one, which is their first road playoff win in the 24-year history of their franchise. Franchise of the Houston Texans began in 2002. All of their playoff wins coming at home. Tonight, they're going to be looking to get their first playoff win outside of their own home. Side note, if the Steelers, the winner of tonight's game will have a date with the number 2 seed New England Patriots in Foxborough on Sunday at 3 or 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. The time still TBD right now, but we do know what lies ahead for the victor of these two teams after this game, for the victor of one of these two teams later on this week. Side note, if the Steelers do win this game, of course they have to go to New England because that's a place where they have never won a playoff game before. The final storyline heading into tonight's game, and this will take us into the key matchups, the return of DK Metcalf. The final story behind, if you would say Aaron Rodgers were to be injured and would be making a return tonight, the Steelers, they are getting back their most cannot be without player, their most important player on their team tonight, aside from the quarterback position. WR1, DK Metcalf returns to action for the Black and Gold for the first time after a 2-game suspension following a physical altercation with a fan Week 16 in Detroit. Listening to what number 4 said in recent interviews, the one-time incident is behind him. He's not talking about it anymore, so we are not going to talk about it anymore unless something else comes away from it, weeks and weeks down the road here. Metcalf, returning him, the return of him, a huge, huge asset for the Steelers. Not just because he's a physical freak and he can take over the games, he has been capable of doing that at this point in the year. We'll get to that in a moment. Just what he does, getting the attention of the opposing defense, that leaves better opportunities on the table for other guys around him. So getting him back, just having his presence alone is massive for the Steelers tonight. He's rested, he's healthy, and he's hopefully pissed off for greatness, which he is great in these playoffs. That, ladies and gentlemen, transitions us into the key matchups to look for on the field tonight. Matchup number 1. These first 3 matchups, honestly, they are going to be components of the Steelers offense going up against this phenomenal Houston Texans defense. Firstly, Steelers, their offensive tackles tonight versus this Texans dynamic outside linebacking duo. Houston, they travel into Pittsburgh tonight, arguably the best defense in the NFL, or at least a non-negotiable top 3 unit in the NFL. The Texans defense, first in points allowed per game, that is at 17.4. First in total yards against per game, 277.2. And they are second in rushing yards against at 93.7. Why they are so good in these categories, you look at their dynamic edge rush duo of Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, the best edge rusher duo in the NFL by far this season. Anderson, former first-round pick, a 2025 first-team All-Pro. Danielle Hunter, the former Minnesota Viking, he somehow got a little bit snubbed. He is a second-team All-Pro in 2025. These two are the only pair of teammates in the NFL this year to have 12 or more sacks each, and they combined for 27 of Houston's 47 sacks this season. Also, what makes them and this defense extremely dangerous, they just get better as the game goes on, quite frankly. Houston, they enter this one with a plus 74 fourth quarter point differential, in large thanks to these two on defense. And that differential, unsurprisingly, by the way, best in the NFL. So these offensive tackles for the Steelers, the whole offensive line in general, they are going to have their hands full tonight. The two main characters that are going to be tasked with stopping those two monsters, Dylan Cook, Troy Fautanu for the Steelers. Cook, he'll probably draw Anderson. Fautanu, he will face Hunter, both of whom will have their work cut out for them. One component of this matchup I'm intrigued by is how the Steelers offense game plans on how to stop these two edge rushers, because, you know, they had a clear plan when they went up. We just got to go back 2 weeks here. They had a clear plan in stopping Myles Garrett 2 weeks ago, but that was just one outstanding, threat in an instant pass rusher. Now you got to deal with two, something that the Steelers, I don't think, have dealt with at all this season. Does, Troy Fautanu, does he get put on an island so that Cook can get constant chip help? Do they both get chip help at the same time? Does that leave the middle of the offensive line exposed? I don't know, but they have a hell of a task on their hand here tonight. If I were the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, I'd say screw how good they are and run right at them. Go on the attack at these two to begin the game to get our guys going. It'll be tough without a certain 6'7" tight end who's out for these playoffs. But for the Steelers, you at least have to try. You cannot just completely abandon the run, which this team has been, victim to doing in recent weeks. You got to get the ground game going, and we're running it right at those two to wear them down early on, get our tackles involved in the game. If you get success on the ground against one of those two, perfect. We'll then move on to the next, problem, which would be their outstanding, hard-hitting middle linebacker, Azeez Al-Shaair. However, I do want to give Cook and Fautanu a puncher's chance in pass protection for this game, because they have been good in that, region. They have been really good down the stretch of the season, especially Troy Fautanu. I thought he put together a decent case to be an all-pro this year, or to be a Pro Bowler this year in his second season. But tonight we find out if these two are made of what it takes to win in this portion of the season. Moving on to matchup number 2, Steelers pass catchers versus these Texans defensive backs. For as good as the Houston edge rushers are, their secondary is just as good, if not better, to be honest. Tonight, Steelers, their passing attack, excuse me, they go up against one of the best no-fly zone secondaries in the league this year, led by first-team AP All-Pro Derek Stingley Jr., and another excellent physical young corner in Kamari Lassiter, one of the best young slot corners in football, Jalen Petrie, and an underrated safety tandem of Kalen Bullock and Jaden Reed. 4 members of this secondary for the Texans have at least 4 interceptions and 10 pass breakups each this season, helping the Texans defense create the 3rd most turnovers in the NFL. The corner group, unbelievable. There's really no words to describe how good the secondary is. The corner group, that's what makes this group elite. And when quarterbacks, when they throw against these corners, they have thrown more interceptions targeting wide receivers against these corners than they have completed touchdowns. That is an insane stat. And as if, they aren't good enough already, this secondary, they aren't shying away from physicality. They tackle extremely well, just like the rest of this defense. However, one way this group can be beaten, or so I've heard, you got to go deep. And Aaron Rodgers, does he still have the arm for that? I'm hoping so. He's been hit or miss with that, but you got to at least take a few deep shots here tonight. Houston, they play a pretty basic 4-man front from, all the film that's out there. They rely tremendously on the talent they have at all levels. They also, more often than not, they will leave corners one-on-one on the outside, and that is where I believe vertical threats like DK Metcalf, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Pat Freiermuth, they're going to need to come up big here tonight. They need to have a big game, especially Metcalf. He'll probably draw Derek Stingley on one-on-ones more often than not. I'm hoping he is up to the task, giving his playoff track record. Metcalf in the postseason, 26 catches, 451 yards, 5 touchdowns in 4 games. I believe, I forget the exact stat. He's in some sort of elite group where he has more playoff touchdown catches than he does games played. So hopefully Metcalf, mentioned rested, healthy. He needs to break out that vintage playoff DK Metcalf here tonight. Even with all that, I do expect the defense of the Texans to throw some different things the Steelers' way and not entirely relying on their Jimmies and Joes over X's and O's strategy. I think Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, he is going to have a hell of a needle to thread tonight when it comes to both protecting Aaron Rodgers against this pass rush and finding a way to beat this secondary, which means, Arthur, hint, hint, you can see if it works early. Please do not constantly go back to your, dink and dunk screen to the outside pitch play stuff, because these linebackers, these corners, they are athletic and they tackle very well. So let's mix in some new things here, Arthur. Anything in your bag of tricks that you did not use in the regular season. Let's see if we can break it out here tonight. Speaking of protecting Aaron Rodgers, I just mentioned that a moment ago. That takes us into our final Steelers versus Texans, Steelers offense versus Texas defense matchup. Aaron Rodgers versus DeMeco Ryans. A little bit of an, off the beaten path matchup here, but I believe for the Steelers to achieve victory tonight, they are going to need to rely on the experience of their 4-time MVP quarterback. Rodgers, playoff career, 45 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, a 2-10 record. The record, not the most godly record for him, but I think we can all agree. Rodgers, better than anything we've seen the Steelers go into playoffs with in recent memory. So I give A-Rod a thumbs up in that department there. Raises my hopes a little bit. Also, Rodgers has had a tiny bit of success against DeMeco Ryans' defenses in the past, and that's going to be relied upon too. Rodgers, he has faced DeMeco Ryans, a defense coached by DeMeco Ryans, twice in his career. Faced him once in the 2021 playoffs with the Green Bay Packers. Ryans was the DC of the 49ers back then. Then these two met again last year in the regular season. Rodgers with the Jets. Ryans, I believe that was his second year as Texans head coach. Going up against a DeMeco Ryans defense, Aaron Rodgers, he's 1-1, lost the playoff game. He has had a 74.5 completion percentage, 404 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, a passer rating of 100.9. It's not like he's dominating Ryans, but still, I'd give it a pretty good grade right there. The downside of those performances, Rodgers, he has been sacked a combined 9 times in those 2 games. So he is going to need to protect himself, be wary, because Ryans clearly has some sort of number on how to get to the 42-year-old quarterback. Regardless of stats, what makes this matchup important and intriguing to me is the battle of the wits and brains between these two. You have one of the best quarterback minds in football history going up against one of the best modern era defensive minds out there in DeMeco Ryans. So that chess match that's going to play out, I am very excited to see that. Rodgers, him checking in and out of stuff here tonight. That's going to be a big factor on whether or not the Steelers win or lose. Rodgers also away from certain records. I'm sure he is motivated by that. 79 passing yards away from passing Big Ben for most playoff passing yards. He's 1 touchdown away from breaking a tie with Dan Marino, or with Joe Montana, third most playoff touchdowns. Another touchdown pass from him. He'll pass Patrick Mahomes. Ending this whole thing here, this matchup, A-Rod, he has led the Steelers, this Steelers offense, to score 26 or more points in 6 of their last 8 games. It's going to be tough tonight doing that, but if anybody's going to figure out a way to keep it going, it is going to be Rodgers. Moving here into Steelers defense versus Texans offense. Going to roll through these real quickly. The Steelers D-line versus the Texans rushing attack. I'm looking at that. The Texans offense, they don't turn the ball over, but somehow they pass a bunch. I want to make sure that their weakness, their running game, stays their weakness or lesser component of their offense here tonight. Reason why I'm focusing on that, in the backfield for the Texans, they have one of the biggest Steelers killers of them all in Nick Chubb. Chubb, longtime Cleveland Brown, 5 touchdowns in 12 games against the Steelers, has over 800 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. He may not be as good as he once was, but when you're a Steeler killer one time, you're always a Steeler killer. So I'm looking out for Chubb today. I need to stop him and Woody Marks if I'm the Steelers defense. You do that, you force the Texans offense into a one-dimensional offense, and then you can attack the offensive line. Houston's offensive line hasn't allowed a sack in 3 straight games. However, Steelers pass rush, 18 dropbacks for Lamar Jackson last week. They got 3 sacks, nearly 4 or 5 in those 18 dropbacks. So imagine what they could do if they get a larger sample size here today. Game plan simple. Stop the run, force them to throw the ball in these elements. That takes us into the final key matchup here tonight. I have the Steelers corners versus the Texans wide receivers. If the Steelers run defense is successful and CJ Stroud does put the ball in the air a bunch, this secondary is going to need to have a fruitful day. They will be facing one of the best yet unrecognized wide receiving cores in the league, in my opinion. You got the outstanding Nico Collins, over 1,100 yards this season on 71 receptions, 6 touchdowns, 18 catches for Nico Collins, over 20 yards, and he missed 2 games. Behind him, great, still coming into their own potential wide receivers. Rookies, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Xavier Hutchinson, Christian Kirk. With that cast of characters, it's all hands on deck for the Steelers secondary. One guy I'm looking forward to the most and who he matches up with tonight, of course, Joey Porter Jr. Joey this year, top 10 in passer rating when targeted, top 10 in completion percentage against when targeting, 14 pass defenses, 0 touchdowns allowed, and has allowed the second fewest passing yards against. But somehow, hey, JPJ, my guy here, didn't get a single All-Pro vote. Get the hell out of here with that. JPJ, I hope he uses that as motivation, and I think he is going to travel with Nico Collins here tonight. So a big game on hand for number 24. The rest of the guys, they're going to need to play to the standard that they played in the regular season. Outstanding breakout year for James Pierre. He's going to need to do more of the same. Brandon Echols, one of the better corner pickups in free agency this year. He needs to keep it up. Asante Samuel Jr., healthy midseason pickup. I like that addition. When he's in there, he needs to play well. So look out for Steelers corners versus the Texans wide receivers tonight. If those matchups become a washout, then I want to transition it to Steelers linebackers versus Dalton Schultz. Their tight end for the Texans. Stroud loves throwing over the middle of the field. Schultz, one of the best yards after catch tight ends in the league. So Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, whoever's covering Dalton Schultz, if it's not a corner or a safety, you need to play some of your best football here tonight and step up your game from what went down in the regular season. The Texans, winners of 15 straight games when they score 20 or more points. So this secondary, this defense as a whole for the Steelers, they have a definitive bar set for them to hold the Texans under tonight. Let us all pray that this defense has a vintage Steel Curtain-esque performance in them here tonight. With that, that takes us into the inactives for tonight's game. Good news for the Steelers. All players on the Steelers inactive list tonight are healthy scratches. Good sign for the health of this team. Roman Wilson, Caleb Johnson, Trey Flowers, Jeremiah Moon, Jack Driscoll, Logan Lee, Will Howard is the emergency QB3. I guess one unhealthy inactive that you could say isn't playing tonight for the Steelers, defensive end Isaiah Loudermilk. He returned to practice this week for the first time since week 2, was not activated off IR, will not play tonight. All other players on the Steelers injury report from the week, including Jalen Warren, who had an illness, and Jonnu Smith, who had a glute injury, Those guys popped up unexpectedly on the report this week. They will play. For the Texans, one, I guess, unhealthy inactive for them, that is running back Jahar Jordan. He's out with an ankle injury. All other guys are healthy inactives. Wide receiver Braxton Berrios, corner Elijah Huzzy, linebacker Christian Harris, offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, and their emergency QB3 rookie Graham Mertz. The Texans, they also elevated from the practice squad defensive tackle Leaky Fotu and have activated safety Jalen Reed from injured reserve for today's game. Final predictions for this game with kickoff coming up here in a matter of moments. It's the playoffs. We all know that the Steelers have been terrible in playoffs over the last decade. Recently, in the postseason, the Steelers 0 for 6 in their last 6. They have been outscored in the first quarter, a combined 73-0 in those 6 games, and they have lost, or at the very least, trailed in each of those 6 games by 21 points at some point. No team in NFL history has done that. However, like I mentioned earlier, just after all of the bad feelings I had on Friday, I'm waffling. It just feels a little bit different. You woke up feeling a little bit different today, feeling a little bit of optimism. The Steelers, have some things working in their favor tonight. Of course, we know it's Monday night. Steelers winning their last 23 consecutive Monday Night Football games, stretching all the way back to 1991. The Houston Texans, they have played just one game under 55 degrees this year. That matters because teams with home domed stadiums are 1-14 in playoffs over the last decade when they go on the road to a place below 40 degrees. By the way, weather tonight in Steeler, I'm sure you'll see it pop up on the LED board behind me. Around the low 30s tonight with wind gusts of 15 miles per hour, making it a real feel of somewhere in the mid to low 20s. Lastly, and no offense to CJ Stroud here, the Steelers are finally not playing an MVP quarterback to begin playoffs. Last 3 playoff games, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Not going to bode well 9 times out of 10 against any of those 3. Stroud here gives you a little bit of a different feel that maybe you can get to him a little bit and that he won't torch you. So those things being what they are, the Steelers having a healthy roster, this being the first playoff game in Pittsburgh with fans since 2017, and the fact that the Steelers, they'll probably pull off some BS to go toe-to-toe with a superior team, gives me a little bit of hope for them to pull out the dub. Just for the love of God, like someone said in the comment section earlier, you cannot fall behind early. Weather the early storm, survive the first quarter and a half, and work from there. With that said, weather conditions being what they are tonight, I'm predicting a low-scoring, defensive-dominated game. Final score, Pittsburgh 19, Houston 17. Pittsburgh breaking their playoff win drought. Mike Tomlin off the hot seat, at least for one off season for the majority of Steelers Nation. Some little niche predictions here. Spencer Anderson, I think you're going to see him a bunch. He'll be filling the Darnell Washington role in the jumbo tight end package. I think he gets a reception of some sort tonight. Tell Arthur Smith, get jiggy with it. I would love to see that. Also, another big boy shout out here. One of the defensive linemen for the Steelers, I think, is going to get a pick tonight off of a tipped pass at the line. We saw TJ Watt get a pick off of a batted pass. I think you'll see a Derek Harmon, Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, one of those guys get one of those here tonight. So that wraps up pregame notes in this one for Steelers versus Texans. Pregame festivities just about wrapped up here. I think kickoff is about to come on to the screen here to my right in a moment. The last note that I have, this one probably the biggest piece of news or information that I have for the Steelers or Texans tonight. Unconfirmed reports say that Father Maximilian Maxwell, the priest who sprinkled holy water on the field before last week's division clinching game against the Ravens, he is present, armed with holy water. No idea if he made it to the field. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we get things kicked off. Kiami Fairbairn, one of the best kickers in the NFL, booted that one away. It was fair caught in the end zone. by Kenneth Gainwell for a touchback. And here we go. Steelers, can we start the game on offense? It's 64 straight games now where we have not seen the Steelers offense score more than 7 points in the first quarter. Let's switch it up here. And let's also see how these matchups between this outstanding defense and this offense fare early on. Rodgers, not looking to end his career tonight. It's going to be a handoff to Jaylen Warren to begin the game, and Warren finds a hole, and that is going to be a 10-yard gain right off the start. One handoff to number 30. No illness, no problem for him. That's a first down run on first down for the Steelers. Great start. Great start. Underrated how great of a start that is for the Steelers. Let's go, says Flock. I'm going to catch up with some of your comments here. You guys just blew up the comment section during those pregame notes. If there's anything very important that you needed to get out a moment ago, please put those back in the comment section here. I'll look at them here after this first drive. Rodgers is going to have a 3-receiver set to the right here, makes a check. Jaylen Warren now motions to the left of him. Rodgers, it's going to be a quick screen here in the hands of DK Metcalf to begin the game, and Metcalf has a gain of 17 yards, carrying, dragging safety Kalen Bullock with him. Two plays, 2 first downs for the Steelers. Let's go. Let's go. Get juiced up. I'm going to be juiced up all game long as the Steelers keep me there. That's a big moment there for DK. He needs to be pissed off, motivated for greatness here tonight. Great blocking by Calvin Austin and Ben Skoranek doing their jobs on that screen. Nice job by those two. Pat Freiermuth in the ball game here. He motions to the left of the formation. Rodgers under center. Warren in the backfield. It's a handoff to Warren. And Warren this time, again, running one way, cutting back the other. Not as successful as a run from his first carry, but still got around 2 to 3 yards. They pop up the Texans defense now. Outstanding defensive front. Of course, the 2 edge rushers. They also got Denico Autry, Sheldon Rankins there as well. Their linebackers. The big guy, number 0, Azeez Al-Shaair with Henry 2020. And, of course, we mentioned the secondary led by All-Pro Derek Stingley. 2nd and 9, so they did not give Warren the 2 that I thought he got. It's just a gain of 1 here. Calvin Austin motions. Rodgers, another handoff to Jaylen Warren. He is going to stutter step and push forward here up to the 50-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd and 7 for the Steelers. And one thing I want to see the Steelers do tonight, take the points when you have the opportunity to take points. They put it in the air here, or do they try to, churn out a couple more yards on the ground, get into the outskirts of Chris Boswell field goal range? We have a break in the action here. It looks like it is Jalen Reed, the Texans safety, who is just activated off of injured reserve. He is being checked out by the trainers on the field right now. He's standing, but they're looking at his right ankle. I believe it wasn't an ankle that he got activated from. I believe it was a forearm injury he came back from. So hopefully not an aggravation of an old injury or something for him. It's one thing that I don't want to see. You can be a fan, but don't wish injury. If you're going to beat a team, beat them straight up. That's what I want the Steelers to do here tonight. Reed heads off the field. 3rd and 7 for the Steelers, exactly from the midfield logo. They are on the yellow star of that logo. Rodgers motions Kenneth Gainwell into the backfield. Now Gainwell motions again out, lines up as a slot wide receiver here. Rodgers takes the snap. Texans rush 4. Rodgers firing this one, a bullet towards the Texans sideline. And that is incomplete. Kenneth Gainwell was closest to him. That's going to bring up 4th and 7, and Rodgers visibly, verbally upset. Not sure if he wanted Gainwell to do something else there or what. Covered on the play by 2020. And no field goal range for the Steelers. It would have been a hell of a boot from Boswell, but impossible in these conditions. Corliss Waitman, his first punt of the evening. This is going to be fair caught back at the 10-yard line. That is Jalen Knoll, the rookie out of Iowa State, same as Jaden Higgins. And with that, 11:57 left here in the first. The Texans offense is going to come onto the field for the first time tonight. CJ Stroud getting his final warm-up tosses there on the sideline. To the comments section we go. You guys getting in a bunch of comments. Want to go to this one here. Freight Train, your contribution, greatly appreciated. Congratulations on 700. I appreciate that, Freight Train. Pretty much all of you in this comment section right now, day oneers in here. So glad to have you here. Thank you all for the good wishes on 700. To more of the recent comments, again, you guys, I apologize, just blowing up that comment section during the pregame notes. If you have something to say about any of those pregame notes, feel free to put those in the comment section. Again, right now, looking here at these recent comments here. Let's go right here. Flacco fired up for that DK screen pass to begin the game. Only way Steelers win is balanced today. Yeah, they do need to balance. Just please do not get away from the run game. You got to get that going first and foremost. That's going to open up some other things for your wide receivers. Could it be cramping from the gold? Could be for Jalen Reed. Again, these Texans, home dome team, they played in one game below 55 degrees this season, that being in Kansas City. They won that game against the floundering Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs. I think that was a game or two right before Mahomes tore his ACL. So this defense, see if you can make them chilly a little bit. Keep them out there on the field. Don't let them go to those sidelines where the coats and heaters are. Kenny G didn't run far enough. Should have ran to the sticks. Not sure why he stopped. Seemed like Kenny wasn't, sounds like he was like choppy. Like he was starting to like fake his breaks like 3 yards off the line of scrimmage there. You got to run and then do all that shimmy shake stuff. So hopefully Kenny G able to just make sure he gets to the sticks and then go for a move after that. Flacco here. Let's go defense. TJ strip sack. Highsmith touchdown. Let's get it, says Thomas. Hoping that comes up here. Let's see how this defense starts out. The Texans offense, they are going to start this drive from their own 10-yard line, and this raucous Acrisure Stadium crowd, they have been rowdy all day long in Pittsburgh. They are making their voices heard. First time that fans have been in the stadium for a home game in many years. They're going to start on the ground here with a run. I believe that is Nick Chubb, and he's going to get a 5-yard gain right there. Gotta keep this running game in check. Or excuse me, that was Woody Marks, on the ground. He is the lightning to Nick Chubb's thunder. Jordan Mixon, former Bengals running back, he was supposed to be the number one guy in this offense, out for the year with injury. 2nd and 5 here. Stroud is going to look to pass here. Looking over the middle. Fires. Tipped up in the air. And oh my goodness, that ball went from an outstanding play to near disaster to a near outstanding play again. Looking for Nico Collins on a slant. Joey Porter Jr. Perfect coverage on Collins. The ball was tipped in the air. It goes off of Jalen Ramsey's head, and it went in the direction of Dalton Schultz. Schultz almost hauled it in, but incomplete. Oh, my goodness. That would have been a hell of a start to the game. Hell of a start. That close for the Steelers. Collins a little shaken up on the play. He's on the sidelines here, trying to shake off the cobwebs. 3rd and 5. Chubb in the ball game. Stroud to pass again. 3-step drop. Stroud. It's going to be a deep shot down the sideline, and it is caught by Christian Kirk. They are ruling it a catch for Kirk. The Texans may try to hurry this up to the line to see if it is a catch. Diving effort for Kirk. He definitely bobbled it. You can't see from that angle if it is a catch or not. Stroud stepping up in the pocket, avoiding pressure, and the deep ball again bites the Steelers. And it does look like it's going to be a catch for Kirk. That play takes the Texans barely in the Steelers' territory at the 49. From their 15 to their 49, it's a handoff to Chubb. And he is only going to get a gain of 2 here, wrapped up and slung down. TJ Watt and Derek Harmon. Harmon, we say it week after week here, maybe the most important defensive lineman on this team for the Steelers. The run game, or the run defense for the Steelers, night and day difference when Harmon is and isn't on the field. Nico Collins, they're showing still on the sideline here, 2nd and 8. Steelers looks like they're going to rush 4 here. Marks in the backfield to Stroud's left. He gets the handoff, stutters for a moment, and then runs right into the waiting arms of Captain Cam Hayward. Alex Highsmith and Patrick Queen helping along the way. Another short gain on the ground for the Texans. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Collins is going to come back into the ballgame now, give things a test go here for the Texans. Look here at the replay. Hayward just fighting through the one-on-one matchup with left tackle Ariante Ursary, a rookie out of Minnesota. 3rd and 6. Chubb in the backfield to Stroud's left. He motions now to his right. Let's see what the Steelers do here defensively. Cut the people up near the line of scrimmage. Stroud takes the snap, and before he got the snap off, do we have a delay of game here? Do we have a delay of game? Stroud immediately took the snap and then spiked it into the ground. And before, okay, the crowd doing their job. The crowd doing their job. They forced the Texans to take their first timeout of the half. It was right before the clock expired. They said that they took the timeout. That was very close to being delay a game. Very, very close. I know you guys in the comment section are upset about it. Clear delay a game. I would have called it on them. Send a message early. These refs are trash already. It was like -1, says Flacco. You guys paying attention to the play clock there. I was looking at what sort of alignment the Steelers defense was in. It definitely seemed like a delay a game. I think that red 0 was popped up for a while there. They're going to retry here, 3rd and 6. 9:04 left to go in the first. The crowd rowdy as hell there at Acrisure Stadium. 3 receivers set to the right. Stroud to pass. Flag flies here, and they're going to blow this play dead. And do they get a false start? The crowd is incensed right now. False start on the offense. Back them up 5. Do your job, Pittsburgh. Let's go. That makes up for the delay of game. That makes up for it. Let's go. 77 jumping all day. That is Trent Brown, a veteran right tackle, trying to get out ahead of 90. The Grim Reaper, TJ Watt, he's coming off the edge. You got to get out of the gates quick, but not too quick. Steelers look like they might rush 6. They drop one into coverage here. Stroud throws incomplete at the feet of Kirk. They brought 5. The pocket collapsed quickly around CJ Stroud, and it is going to be 4th down. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. There was penetration up the middle from a blitzing Patrick Queen. Stroud trying to step up and run. TJ Watt cut back to the middle. That forced him to throw it away. Also, Brandon Eccles from nickel blitz there too. 4th and 11. Tommy Townsend, the punter for the Texans, is going to boom this one away, and this is going to hit out of bounds. And where is this going to stop? Up past the 20 and to the 25-yard line. That is not a good punt from Townsend. Not a good punt. And the Steelers, they're going to be set up with some decent field position here to begin their next offensive drive. Good hold on the play for my dad. Both offenses stopped at the 50, Wild, both the same spot. Both pass rushes. Not the Texans pass rush so much on the Steelers 3rd down, but this Steelers defense, offensive possession number 1, 1-0. Steelers D-line against this Texans offensive line. Good stuff. Good stuff. 11 of you in here right now Welcome to the live stream. In the comment section, please, any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, please get those in the comment section right now. Up to 701 subscribers on the channel. Like, share, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's go here to Twitter. This place is just rocking right now. It's hearing from people on the ground there. 98% Steelers fans. Really no sort of sight of Texans faithful there, which, hey, they're down there in Houston. Do we really think that they are going to make the trek up and sit out in these elements? No, but the Steelers were born and bred for this type of weather. The Texans did win the opening coin toss and deferred. Did not mention that. Pittsburgh, by the way, tonight. Just seeing the pictures and all of that out there right now. Beautiful. I always say it's one of the most beautiful small, big cities in the world. But tonight, the skyline just draped in black and gold. The North Shore has been on fuego all day long. Steelers Nation showing up tonight. The offense, let's see if they could wheel it on or pick up the slack here and will on the enthusiasm and energy of this crowd. Game coming back from commercial here. Going through history books here. Super Bowl. I think that is Super Bowl 9 for the Steelers. Taking down the Minnesota Vikings. I think 16-6 on this day in history. Did not know that. Thought the Steelers would have put that out there, but I did not see it. Like I said earlier, Steelers going to start this drive. They move the ball all the way up to the 28. Rodgers is going to roll out here. Play action. Throws wide open. DK Metcalf. And he is up past the 50-yard line. Just like that. Hell yeah, DK. Let's go. Play action. Roll out to the left for Aaron Rodgers. You had the jumbo tight end Spencer Anderson lined up as a wide receiver there. Multiple defensive backs got drawn down towards the line of scrimmage on that fake. And Rodgers hits Metcalf. Big gain all the way up to the 48. Rodgers takes the snap, looking to pass again. Sideline floater for Metcalf, incomplete. Flag on the play. Woohoo! Throw out that yellow towel. Kamari Lassiter in coverage. It's pass interference or holding. One of the two. Flag all day. Flag. Yep, that is going to be holding on Lassiter. The sideline and sense automatic first down. 4-on-4 crime right there. See, that's how we're going here tonight. That's how it's going to be. The ball is going to number 4, DK Metcalf. See if you can stop it. Our guy against your guy. Let's see who wins. Again, back-to-back drives now. The Steelers have started with a pair of first down plays. Ball is all the way up at the 33 now. Rodgers, handoff. That is Kenneth Gainwell, the team MVP. This is going to be a gain of 6 yards up to around the 27-yard line. Good stuff there from Kenny G, 2nd and 4. Looking here at a replay a moment ago. They are calling safety Jaden Reed for the Texans, questionable to return. Back to the play, 2nd and 4. Now Rodgers makes an adjustment here. He remains under center. Adam Thielen motions. Rodgers, snap, handoff. Kenneth Gainwell makes one man miss in the backfield. Gets up to the 21-yard line. Outstanding run again by Kenny G. Great stuff there from 14 in the backfield. Another Pittsburgh Steelers first down. Let's go. Kenny G with the sweet feet. Who did he make miss there? Someone got through. That was Azeez Al-Shaair who blitzed up the middle. And Kenny G, with a little bit of an assistance from a block from Isaac Seumalo, he made him miss with an excellent jump cut. Nice. Warren now in the game. Rodgers takes the snap, looking to pass. Rodgers, sideline floater again, looking for Jonnu Smith, and Jonnu did not see it. Damn it. Come on, Jonnu. No Darnell Washington. Going to be a big part tonight. Got to find the ball. Wasn't there something similar last game against the Ravens where Jonnu couldn't find the ball or got his head around late? That time he got his head around well early enough, just couldn't see it. 2nd and 10 now. 6:46 left to go in the first quarter. Rodgers taking the snap, looking to pass again. Rodgers, another shot towards the sideline here, and that is going to be incomplete. 3rd and 10, not sure where that pass was going, who it was to. It's an incompletion. Was he waiting, wondering if someone was going to run a go there or if they were going to, stop up? I don't know. 3rd and 10 now. Drive again at risk of stalling out here. If you're the Steelers here, you're at the 21-yard line here. Rodgers in an empty backfield. I was going to say run it and take the 3, but might as well try the pass here. Not sure how much faith you have in Chris Boswell. Rodgers the pass out of an empty set. Throw here towards the sideline. Marquez Valdez-Scantling makes the catch as he heads towards the boundary. He's going to be tackled 3 yards shy of the first down marker. 4th and 3. Steelers here. Tomlin, they're showing him on the sideline. The offense is going to come off the field here, and they're going to take the 3. So here we go. Chris Boswell is going to come on for a field goal here. Playoff career for Boz, 17 for 17, along a 49. This is a 32-yarder from the right hash. Boswell's kick is on the way. And Boswell putting me a little bit at ease here. It is good. So a good start for the Steelers. Is it the best start they could have had? No, but in a playoff game for this team, we will take it. A flash of the pan of what your offense can be tonight. First drive that ended in a punt. Your defense gave up one big play, but they stiffened up before the opposition could get into field goal range. And then your second offensive drive, baby steps. Your drive stalls out near the red zone, but you get 3 on the board and take an early lead. We'll take that. We'll take that for how these playoff games have started for the Steelers. That is an okay start. That is an okay start. Back to the comment section here. Guys reacting to the many flags and PIs there. Kenny G with the sweet feet from Concepts earlier. John who needs to fight through contact. Yeah, for a guy that, is big yard after the catch type of tight end, he definitely does need to help himself any way he can to get open, because that's the only way he's making a completion. He's not going to be a go-up contested catch type of guy, so you got to do everything in your power to get open. And I'm not sure I'm seeing him do it right now. Cut candidate for the off season. We want to go that way. There is Jonnu. Got to give Muth that play next time. Agreed. 88. For some reason, I think they use him in like niche sort of roles, Freiermuth, but down Darnell Washington, I don't care if you think Muth is stepping outside of his comfort zone, which I doubt he is with certain things. Put Muth out there. Gotta let him work and get him going here today. That would be big. You got another excellent tight end on the other side, Dalton Schultz. He's going to get his. Got to make sure your highest paid eligible behind DK Metcalf gets his as well. Why did we stop running it? I don't know. 3 straight passes there. I would have ran the ball on second down there to pick up some yardage. Just seems like the smart thing to do instead of going to 3rd and 10. But I don't understand either there. River shot of Pittsburgh as the game comes back on here. DK helped us 3 times. We got to take advantage of the runs. Agreed. Got to take advantage. First time noticing the Steelers pop up on that thing, on that LED board behind me. That's pretty cool. Chris Boswell, the field goal. The yellow, little bit hard to read there, but it'll get better. I got to see if I can adjust the brightness on that. Might need to lower it a bit. Run the ball off the edges and win. I'll say it. They need to do it. Kickoff here from Boswell. It's going to hit at the 5, and now it's going to be returned here by Jalen Nolan. He is going to bring it up to the 25-yard line. Great stuff there from Boswell. Great stuff there. You get the ball to hit at the 5. Guy picks it up on the bounce, and that gives your return team a little bit of extra time to bring him down. 7 would have been better, but 3 is better than none. Agreed there, Dad. For the way playoff games have started, we've made it this far into the first quarter. You'll take anything on your plate. This drive for the Texans, it's going to start from the 26-yard line. Nico Collins, after getting a little bit shaken up on the first drive, lines up wide to the left. Seems to be one-on-one with Joey Porter Jr. Stroud is going to take the ball here, and he's going to throw, and it's going to be a crosser here at the 30. Caught by Collins, tackled immediately by Porter in tight coverage. That is going to be a decent game there. Going back a moment ago here. Some pushing and shoving after that kickoff. Looking at the replay here, Porter, he did get his hands in there on that football, on that reception by Collins, but Collins still able to hang on to it. Run up the middle here for Woody Marks, and he's going to be close to the first down. Derek Harmon at the bottom of the pile, holding Marks down. They are going to say it's third down, so it's going to be 3rd and 1, really 3rd and about half a yard here. 5 minutes and counting down here in the first quarter. Steelers still in possession of all 3 of their timeouts. The Texans with 2. Marks lines up in the backfield here. Stroud is under center. They're going to try to run it here. They're going to try to quarterback sneak it. It's going to be a handoff to Marks, and he is just going to get enough of the first down. Started like he was going to go up the middle and then cut out to the right a little bit. TJ Watt slinging him down to the ground and needed a half a yard, got a yard. Going to move the chains here for Houston. Marks, a rookie out of USC, 4th-round pick. 703 rushing yards on the year for Woody Marks. Sixth in the league by rookie running backs. Stroud, another handoff to Marks here on 1st and 10, and Marks is going to get up to around the 40-yard line before he is stopped there again. Big 99, Derek Harmon on the stop. It's a 3-yard gain for Marks. Already making a hell of a statement here is Derek Harmon. Guys, a moment ago, bogus call. That was not a catch. No catch. I was just looking at Porter's hand there. I'll take your guys for your word that that ball hit the ground. 2nd and 7 now. Stroud throwing screenplay here for Nico Collins, and Collins with, I think, an offensive lineman who bounced out and another wide receiver blocking for him. He's able to get 4 yards there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3. Nick Herbig, Brandon Eccles in on the stop. Great coverage there on that screen. Not sure how much the Texans do that sort of stuff, but for their first time running that play tonight, great recognition by the Steelers defense. They should be one of the best at recognizing those things, seeing how their offense does it a ton. Nick Chubb checks into the game. He's to Stroud's left in the backfield. Stroud takes the snap, looking to pass, firing deep over the middle, and it is caught at the 40-yard line. Fighting for the ball was James Pierre. It's Xavier Hutchinson who brings it in with a leaping grab over the middle. A post for Hutchinson, and did he hang on to that ball throughout the catch? Definitely a catch there, and yeah, he definitely hits his knees definitely hit the ground before Pierre wrestles that out. Stroud under center here, 1st and 10 in Steelers territory. It's a flea flicker back to Stroud. Stroud trying to get rid of it. Pulled out. It's intercepted. Intercepted. That is Cam Hayward! Woo! I told you! Pre-game predictions, interception tonight by one of the Steelers' defensive linemen. It's at the very least a fumble and recovered by the Steelers. It is the rookie out of Ohio State, Jack Sawyer. And it's another rookie, Y.A. Black. I'm used to the stars being out there. The 4th and 5th round rookies for the Steelers combined for a massive drive-halting play. Sawyer, the strip, Black, the pick, big sexy, do your belly selly, big guy, the F-350. Ball don't lie. Concepts with the comment there. Ball don't lie. I called it. For the record, I called it. You guys were here. D-lineman pick. There it is. Wasn't off of a batted pass. But Jack Sawyer making the biggest play of his rookie Steeler season right there. And it's another big man, Y.A. Black, getting in on the fun. Unbelievable. Texans, again, they get a big chunk play with Xavier Hutchinson. And then once they get over midfield, the Steelers defense, they batten down the hatches. Let's go. To the comment section. We go. You guys reacting to the following plays that just unfolded. They jinxed JPJ with that stat. The whole, one and has allowed 0 touchdowns and over 1,300 something snaps. Yeah, they might be trying to jinx him with that. Let's go. From Flacco, ball don't lie. Called it. YA, huge. $5 contribution in the chat from SCSR Dad. Thank you, Dad. Well, now Chimichanga, indeed their concepts. Let's get the run game going here. Must get points after turnovers. I think Dan Orlovsky, ESPN analyst, the whole ESPN crew, they're in Pittsburgh for this game tonight. It was Orlovsky who said that the Steelers, they need to get 2 turnovers and they need to put up points off of those 2 turnovers. Here's turnover number 1. Let's see if the offense can capitalize. They've been one of the better teams at capitalizing off of turnovers this season. However, recently it seems like that, hot streak they've been on doing that has, flickered a little bit. So let's see if they are able to, show up with a big drive right here. All them naysayers on Jack when we drafted him to where they at now. Hell of a play by Sawyer. I didn't slam the Sawyer pick in the time. At least I don't think I did, because I thought, 4-man rotation with Watt, Herbig, Highsmith, and Sawyer would have been nice. And not the ideal start to the drive for the Steelers. First down run for Jaylen Warren goes nowhere. Might have lost a yard. We'll see. Now, hopefully the Texans defense isn't going to make a big ball out move. Jack Sawyer, BPA for sure. Thank God Khan believes in BPA instead of need. Yeah, definitely a value for that pick in that time. JPJ, all the way. Sawyer's motor is great. Again, Steelers, they seem to have that one trait that they love in their outside linebackers, guys who don't stop. Deep drop here for Rodgers on 2nd and 10. Shot downfield, and oh my God, it hit Metcalf right in the hands. Damn it. Ugh. Metcalf looks like he was running an in and then broke it back out towards the sidelines. Had his man Stingley beat, and it just hit off of his hands. No one was around him. Hit Metcalf right in the hands, and that's one of the downsides of number 4's game. Does have a bit of the dropsies here and there, and again, the Steelers 3rd and 10. Rodgers, empty backfield, another 5-step drop. moving around here, throws. It's to MVS again. And again, it's well short of the sticks. That's going to be a 3-yard gain. And there you go. That's what happens when you go the rest of that drive, the previous drive, that is, without running the football. The defense now knows how to go against the passing game. It's a gracious they give them 5 yards on the play there for MVS. First turnover of the game for the Steelers. What does it net them? A punt back to the offense. This ball, it's going to hit at the 6, and now it's going to be picked up on a hop by Jalen Nolan. He is just going to turn and jog out of bounds at around the 8-yard line. Good punt there by Waitman. Can't do that if you're the Steelers offense. You had a chance to slam a door in the face of the Texans offense right there, and they did not do it. My thoughts exactly, Concepts. My thoughts exactly. Great punt, but such a damn waste of an opportunity. Exactly, their Concepts. 1st and 10 here for Houston. They start at their own 8. Woody marks the back, faking the handoff, rolling out to the right, and it's a floater and up the sideline before getting pushed out of bounds. That's a free 8-yard pickup there for the Texans. That was number 87, backup tight end Cade Stover. Talk about another of many Ohio State products in this game. We've got to let's put our thinking caps on here. How many Ohio State guys are on the field tonight for both of these teams? You got Stroud, Stover. You got on the Steelers side of things, Hayward, Jack Sawyer. Trying to think of some other stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah, my mind's blanking on to who else could possibly be Ohio State Buckeyes there. But nonetheless, that's going to bring an end to the first quarter of play. They weathered an early storm. Can they pick it up here? Second quarter. That's the next step for this team. We'll take it. Let's go defense. They'll be faced with a 2nd and short after the first quarter comes to an end. Going to come back to your comments section, to the comment section here in a moment. Going to take a little break real quick, and we'll be back here in a moment with the second quarter coming up. 13 of you in here right now. Subscribe to the channel. Like, share, leave a comment in the comment section. Back here in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second quarter of action about to begin here. 3-0 lead the Steelers have. The defense of the Steelers doing well to stifle this Texans offense, or at least once they reach midfield, holding the Texans offense to 0 points. The offense for the Steelers, 3 and out last drive. They had a half-decent start to the game, but they're going to need to figure things out. We'll get back to your comment section here in a moment. It's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Texans, and a fumble off the snap here for Stroud. He's going to throw it here, and it's just going to be incomplete. Oh, my goodness. That could have been huge for the Steelers defense. It was a perfect snap by Andrews, the center. Stroud just did not catch it. Got his eyes up at the rush before he had it. The ball rolled all the way back to about the 3-yard line. Stroud then picked it up and fired it in the direction of the nearest player. 3rd and 2 now. That is a massive break for the Steelers. Stroud designed roll out here to the right. Throws. Free first down. An out route from Christian Kirk. Remember when he could have been a Steeler. Needed 2 yards. Got about a 3 to 4 yard gain right there. Running an out against Brandon Echols. And that is a pickup 9 times out of 10 for the Texans offense. They got what they needed. Damn. That close to the defense getting a break. 1st and 10 now at the 20. Stroud under center, Stover in motion. Stroud faking the handoff. Stroud looking to pass, fires this towards the sideline, and it is incomplete in the direction of Dalton Schultz. And guess who is in coverage? It is Asante Samuel Jr., one of the smartest under-the-radar moves from Omar Khan earlier this season. Samuel was going to be one of the better free agent corners. Ended up, due to injury, not getting signed until midseason. The Steelers, who did his back surgery, are the team that got him. Excellent pickup. Samuel remains out there. Stroud on 2nd and 10 to pass. Throwing over the middle, caught. A 13-yard gain for Nico Collins. Lined him up more in towards the formation that time. And was Joey Porter Jr. in coverage? Indeed, he was. So it does look like JPJ is going to cover Collins here tonight, and that is Collins' 2nd catch. Maybe his 3rd against JPJ. At the very least, you want a consolation prize. Porter, not leaving him any breathing room. He is all over him when he makes these catches. Jalen Knoll, the rookie wide receiver, in motion. It's a handoff this time to Woody Marks, and he is going to bounce off of a shoulder tackle of Queen and fall forward. That's going to be a 6-yard gain, something like that. To the comment section, all of you in here right now saying the same thing. I'm starting to pay attention to it a little bit more now. Love watching TJ get held. They've been holding TJ, man. They need to keep watching 77. I just hope, they're giving a, not starting caliber right tackle the benefit of the doubt against an elite pass rusher. We better get the same stuff when, Dylan Cook has a little bit of a grab on Will Anderson or something. Or, Faatanu gets away with a few things on Daniil Hunter. That 2nd down run there for Woody Marks, it's going to go for no gain. Tackled on the play by, I think, TJ Watt. 12:30 and counting down here in the 2nd quarter. 3rd and 3. Give credit to the Steelers. They are making the Texans go the long way here. Another 3rd down. Stroud takes the snap, looking to pass, looking to the right, stepping up, throws it. It's low, but caught at the 46 for a 1st down. That is Dalton Schultz, the ex-Dallas Cowboy, with the 1st down reception. Close to the ground. Did he hang on to it? And, he just pinned that ball. The ball was on edge. He pinned it to his throat and was able to barely hang on. 71 moving. False starts holdings. This offensive line doing some cheating here to get an advantage on this D line. It's a handoff here. This is going to be Nick Chubb, and Chubb, much like we saw a bunch with his time as a Cleveland Brown, he is going to pick up a nice gain of 8 yards here. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Chubb, hard to bring down. Might not be what he used to be, speed-wise and all that. Obviously, durability and serious injuries have shortened his career, but he can still be a dominant force of one of the more tougher running backs in the game. 2nd and 1 here. Chubb in the backfield. Stroud handoff to Chubb. And Chubb, a burst up the middle, breaks off of contact. And that's going to be a 7-yard gain for Chubb there and a new set of downs for the Texans offense. 10:48 now. And counting down here in the second quarter. It's always nice to see a team rely on their running game. Wonder what that feels like. Come on. Their run game's starting to get going now. Arthur Smith, take notes. They're driving here too easily. Looks like a scoring drive. Unfortunately, I'm thinking the same thing. Freight Train already in field goal range for Kiami Fairbairn at the 39. Another handoff, and boy, Chubb that time. He was one leg tackle from someone away from breaking that off huge. Instead, it's a 6-yard gain. It's 2nd and 4 coming up. 10 minutes now left and going down. Or 10 minutes now and going down. Y.A. Black coming off the field here. Stroud reading off of his wristband. Gets the next play call in. 5 rushes and 6 passes on this drive for Houston. Look at that. They are able to do both things on one drive. Steelers have 5 men up on the line here. They rush 5. It's a handoff. Woody Marks running to the right. Marks got some blocking. Marks up the sideline and stays on his feet all the way up to around, somewhere around the 10. It's going to be maybe first and goal here for the Texans. Let me look again here. They zoomed in on Marks, so I couldn't tell what marker on the field he was stopped down at. Looks like it's going to be at around the 12 here. But nonetheless, it is 1st and 10 here inside the red zone for Houston. Can the Steelers' red zone defense show up big here? Man motions around. Handoff. Chubb up the middle. Chubb is going to get to the 5. It's going to bring up 2nd and 2 here. Steelers' run defense not doing so hot right now. 2nd and 3 is what they make it as. And we got a bit of a stoppage here. Someone's down on the field, I think. And that is Woody Marks. So Marks just got the handoff, and now he's down. Tackled by Peyton Wilson. Then he hits the back of his head against the turf. Not sure if I saw any sort of twisting of the leg or anything like that there, but might be Chubb here for the next little bit with Marks down. He's going to need to at least sit out one play. To the comment section again here. Yeah, we can run, but not inside the tackles. Must run outside. Our running backs excel at making guys miss, and we have the speed. Tell Arthur Smith that. Let's call into the sideline phones at Acrisure Stadium and tell him that. It's the one thing you're going up against 2 outstanding edge rushers. You want to try to neutralize them, run right at them. See what they're made of there. Let's do more of that here. When we go back on offense, we're doing so well. Then DK drops the ball that hit him in the hands. Perfect throw. I think we started to see the offense start to wither a little bit with that drive where they threw it 3 incompletions and they kicked the field goal. The Metcalf drop, I mean, you're going to have one of those every once in a while. Not going to be too tough on him. Should he have made the catch? Yes, but was that, the moment in time where you're going to point and say, the offense fell apart here? I think it might have started to happen a little bit before that. Our defense is playing too long. Yeah, they are definitely getting worn down here. You force the interception, you get the interception. Then your offense goes 3 and out. You're right back out there on the field. They just showed before they went to commercial, TJ Watt huffing and puffing on the sideline. Gotta hope he's all right with his lung situation. But now the offense, they are going to need to respond with their best drive of the game thus far, because you got to give your defense a breather here. In this cold, too, hard to breathe. Offense making defense play too long. Agreed. Why can we not stop the run anymore? Well, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, those couple of catches, I'm sure, opened up some stuff towards the middle of the field. Yeah, that drop could literally cost us the game. Sounds not so early, but that drive was moving, then the ball and kick back to them. They move easily down the field. They moved easily all the way to down the field to this point, and now this is going to be an easy touchdown for Christian Kirk. A fake toss has Stroud roll out to the right. Christian Kirk, who was chip blocking initially, comes wide open and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. And that is what happens when your offense goes 3 and out off of a turnover. Pathetic. Not on the defense, on the offense. The defense, I mean, not going to give them the majority of the blame here. Extra point from Kaimi Fairbairn is up and it is good. And let's hope that this is not the beginning of what the Steelers look like in these playoffs games. Let's hope that's not the beginning of something bigger. Steelers offense is going to be coming back out on the field here in a moment. 8:28 left to go in the second quarter. 29 has been slow 2 times now, getting out there to the flats. Kyle Duggar, he's been in some criticism line of fire recently. Hasn't been playing well in the past 2 games. Chuck Clark, of all people, has been, brought up as a solution, but whatever mojo Kyle Duggar had coming over from New England, it's vanished in a hurry here as the season has gotten to its most important stages. Hopefully me being, pessimistic and criticizing him spurs him on to have a big play here, but not going to count on it. Love you, DK, but you sold. Needs to make up for it big time, just like GP selling versus the Bills by fumbling the game away at the start. How can people blame coaching? 92-yard drive right down their throats. Can't afford drops. Would love that with the running game and then get Metcalf the ball in space. Get him some short stuff to get him going there. Have DK run a 5-yard slant. He catches it. That's at least an 8-yard gain because he's going to drag a guy with him for a bit. So let's see if Metcalf can make some magic happen here. 10 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. A deflating drive just then from the Houston Texans. Now, can the Steelers offense respond? Seeing if there's any new things here on Twitter, any injury updates, stuff like that. Looks like the Pittsburgh Penguins are in the house there. You got, looking at the video here, Chris Letang, Noel Achari. That might be Ryan Shea in the back. I think that's Kevin Hayes on the left there. So the Penguins, they are in the house. When you play Pittsburgh, you play the whole city. Kickoff coming up here from Fairbairn. Let's see if the Steelers offense has a response. They've had a little bit of extra time there on that sideline to come up with a game plan for this drive. Let's see what it is. Kickoff from Fairbairn is away. Short kick fielded at the 14 and returned by Kenneth Gainwell up the sideline, and that is going to be a nice return all the way up to the 35, maybe a little bit beyond that. So excellent field position for the Steelers. Rodgers in the offense onto the field now. Looks like they're going to start this drive with Thielen, Metcalf, Warren. I think Pat Freiermuth there as well. So maybe 11 personnel. Rodgers under center here. Jonnu Smith is there with Freiermuth. Handoff. No, faking the handoff is Rodgers. Now it's a screen. Jonnu Smith, and oh my God, what are we doing? What are we doing? A screenplay set up behind the line of scrimmage. Jonnu Smith could not juke out a defensive lineman. And the Steelers are hurrying up here to the line. Rodgers under center. Somehow there was miraculously no yardage lost on that play. Rodgers now slows it down. Play clock at 12. Taking the snap, faking the handoff again. Rodgers just throws this one in the dirt. Why are we passing? Why not try to run it? And we got a flag here. It's maybe going to be roughing the passer on, who's that? Danielle Hunter? And it's intentional grounding. Never mind. Who am I to think that penalty was on them? It's an intentional grounding on Rodgers. Danielle Hunter just walked right around Troy Falatanu. There was absolutely zero contact between Falatanu and Hunter. A simple inside move, and that was it. 3rd and 21. Here comes your another 3 and out. Here comes your little out route towards the sideline that gets like 7 yards, and he's not even close to the first down gain. 0 for 3 on 3rd downs tonight. That sounds about right. Average yards to go is 9. Sounds about right. 3rd and 21. Rodgers in an empty backfield takes the snap. Wouldn't you know it? Dump off Kenneth Gainwell. And Gainwell is going to just get up to the 38. Nowhere freaking close. And the defense of the Texans comes off giggling like school children. 4th down. What an uncompetitive drive. Uncompetitive in every single way. Terrible play call on the first play. Piss poor execution on the second. And then your traditional nowhere near the line of scrimmage. Nowhere near the first down marker, I should say. Pickup. Punt from Corliss Waitman got to around the 35 or something like that. For the Texans, Ben Skoranek was trying to fling a protector into the ball so that it could have been touched by a Texan, but here we go. Steelers, here we go. Texans about to run it down your throat. Here we go. To the comment section again. John who hurting us bad. Yeah, I mean, defensive lineman in front of you. Like, dude's, he stutter stepped like 3 times in the backfield. Just pick a lane and go. At least get 2 yards there. You don't need to wait for the Red Sea to part for you there. You got a defensive lineman in front of you. In no way, shape, or form should you not juke him out and get upfield there. Better be roughing. Yeah, no roughing the passer. Shoved them down. But maybe if Rodgers got outside the tackle zone there, or outside the pocket, that would have been not the case. Run off the edge instead of that BS. Run off the edge is bouncing nowhere in the mind of Arthur Smith right now. Yep, here's where we lose the game. Everything's falling apart, wheels coming off, says Freight Train. Again, agreed. This is the movie we've seen all too much. It's the same bad movie that we see every year, except this year there was maybe a extra trailer of what a good movie actually is that played before the bad movie started. Smith hates. Yeah, just unbelievable. So easy for everything to fall apart. The game to become too far out of reach. Or Texans can do whatever they want. No hurry. It's going to be another, like, clock-chewing drive right here for Houston, I feel like. They might mix in a big, deep downfield shot here. It's going to be like a Zay Flowers type of thing where a dude inexplicably comes wide open here. You just watch. 1st and 10. for Houston. 6:57 left to go in the second quarter. Ball is at the Houston 19, so a little bit of better punt than what I had it pegged for. Woody Marks, who was injured a moment ago, back into the game. Grabbed by Derek Harmon and slung down after a 4-yard gain. Clock gets back to rolling. 6:40 and counting down. Marks, 10 carries, 55 yards so far in this one. Been pretty good. 2nd and 6. This Texans offensive line, after having their will imposed upon by the Steelers defense in the first quarter, they are now imposing their will on the Steelers D-line. Stroud here drops the snap, picks it up, though. Stroud is going to try to step up and run, and it's fumbled. Is that a fumble? Oh, my God. Did we just get another turnover? Steelers ball. Holy hell. Oh, my God. What the hell just happened? I got to hit this twice because I did not hit it for YA Black earlier. Okay, how about that? The defense trying to give a jump start to the offense again. That play was weird and wonky to call from the start. Broken play. Stroud, his second dropped snap of the game. He then tries to step up. Looked like he was going to take off and run. He then stopped, and as he brought his arm back to throw, Keanu Benton gets his helmet in there. The ball dropped. TJ Watt falls on it. The Steelers at the 21. They're going to try a pitch run to the outside for Kenneth Gainwell, and Jalen Petrie sniffs it out for a 3-yard loss. Here we go. Great job, offense. Let's have this golden platter served turnover. Let's just give it right back to him. Look in here. The comment section, you guys. TJ ball. TJ. Keanu Benton with the force. Benton makes up for a missed guy on the previous play, says Thomas Dowdy. I agree with that. Rodgers to throw here, and oh my God, why are we throwing it to the flat? We're throwing it to Kenneth Gainwell behind the line of scrimmage out in the flat, and guess what? 0. Nobody's blocking for him. 2 defensive backs for the Texans are right in his face. They can read the Duke inscription on the football as Gainwell is catching it. Back-to-back negative plays caused by Jalen Petrie. 3rd and 14. Love it. Outstanding. Gainwell motions out, empty backfield for Rodgers. That's great. Texans rush 4. Rodgers gets rid of this one. Gainwell has a man fall down behind him, and he is going to get up to here about 2 yards short of the first down. 4th and 2. And the offense is going to stay out there and go for it. Real quick, $5 contribution from Pops SESR Dad. Thank you. 4th and 2. They don't get this here. They're screwed. They're going for it. From their own 13, it's 4th and 2. Rodgers motioning a guy in. 4 minutes and counting down here in the second quarter. Can the Steelers pick it up? Man in motion. Rodgers faking the handoff. Throws it out. Wide, and it is caught. Thank God Adam Thielen still has some legs at 35. Holy hell. That play had a lot of motion pre-snap. Wanted to make sure nobody got nabbed for an illegal shift. Adam Thielen in motion across the formation. Pass out to the flat. Caught it. Had about a yard to go. And was able to get just enough of the angle to pick up the first. 1st and goal from the 9. Warren. In the backfield. Rodgers under center. Skoranek motions. Warren gets the handoff. Warren going to jump to the left a little bit, and he's going to get a gain of a yard and a half here. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal. Clock is at 3:05 and ticking down now. Still 7-3 Houston. Oh my goodness. You guys going through a roller coaster motion in the comment section with me, from WTF, like what Concepts has here. Bro, oh no. And then guys were happy with the pickup from Thielen. Rodgers here, not sure what he is doing here. Was there some sort of miscommunication on the snap there? Because Rodgers was looking back at the Texans sideline there. There was no one in the backfield for him to like pitch the ball to, and then he just turned back to his right and fired it into the stands. Rodgers almost threw lefty. Yeah, like, when do we get Tua in Pittsburgh? Or Michael Penix? That was so weird. And there's a penalty on the play to boot. It's on the Steelers. I think it's on Zach Frazier. He got penalized for something. Must have been declined because it's 3rd and goal now. Might have been an ineligible man downfield because that play was broken. Jonnu Smith, I'm going to take it that Jonnu Smith did something wrong there, because he's running up the sideline with a guy right in front of him wondering, like, what? So here we go. Clock stopped at 2:36. Ball at the 7. 3rd and goal. Rodgers taking the snap. Looking to the left. Back to the right now. Rodgers, pocket collapsing around him, and he is going to go down and get sacked. And I don't even think the Texans touched him. I think he fell out on his own guy. He fell over his own guy. Someones were down on the ground, and right here, still in Cook like pancakes and falls on Will Anderson, and then Rodgers gets bumped by the back of Mason McCormick and then stumbles over Dylan Cook. Cook almost was able to serve as a table there to keep Rodgers upright, but holy hell, the Steelers defense, they need to score a defensive touchdown to win this game, if we're being honest. Because holy hell. You wonder if you guys wonder where I get holy hell, you hear me say it so often here on the channel. In case you're wondering where I get it from, there it is in the comment section. Just unbelievable. No matter how good of an opportunity this offense is going to be served tonight, you have a feeling that they are going to do their best to squander it. Rodgers needs to take a chill pill badly. He's starting to do that jittery stuff in the pocket, which I don't like it. Maybe the footsteps getting a little bit too close to him. 7 plays, 4 yards, unreal. It's the Arthur Smith offense, baby. Right there. That was a shit snap. That's the Arthur Smith difference. Doesn't trust his receivers after that big drop. I don't know what to think. Cannot be getting scared now, A-Rod. If I'm A-Rod, remember, on the sideline, this could be your last game. Got to step outside your comfort zone. Trust some guys that maybe have failed you in the past. Why sign him to that extension if you aren't going to use moves? I don't know. That's one thing that is really starting to irk me, and want to have Arthur Smith ran out of town on a rail, because Pat Freiermuth was, when he signed the deal, top 10 tight end money, and this is his worst year, I believe, in the NFL, and he's got an all-time great quarterback with him. MVS, Smith, etc., all ask we continue to run plays to them. I know, it's not something appropriate for the moment in the heat of the football game, but how does anybody feel about Mike McDaniel for OC next year? Maybe Cliff Kingsbury if he doesn't get a job. I think you're going to see Raheem Morris be the defensive coordinator next year if he doesn't get a head coaching gig somewhere. But, I mean, holy hell. Not Matt Canada level territory, but in terms of all the other offenses and stuff around him, Arthur Smith can't scheme or play call his way out of a wet paper bag right now. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. So the Steelers, after that sack from Rodgers, they hit the 2-minute warning in the half. So Chris Boswell is going to come on here, and from the right hash mark, this is going to be a 38-yard attempt. Bos made it from 38 earlier, and they took the points. Thank God they at least got points. That takes the score now 7-6. Downside, felt like the Steelers might have benefited if they could have done a little bit of their 2-minute offense there, but that could not happen. Now the Texans against this Steelers defense that has been very hot and cold, more cold against 2-minute offenses this season. They are going to need to try to hold the Texans here to, at most, a field goal. Give yourself a 4-point game before you head into halftime. It's actually a rare situation we're in here. For the past, 3 weeks or so, the Steelers, they've been starting the game on defense, getting the ball to start the second half. This time around, they will not. So, one thing's for sure. You want to prevent this game from ending early. You cannot let the Texans score a touchdown here, because they will make adjustments at half, and they will have an excellent opportunity to get a double score. Can't have it. Arthur Smith to the Ravens. I wish. I so wish. Kickoff here from Chris Boswell is on the way. This is going to be fielded at the 2 and brought back here by Jalen Knoll. Knoll now running to the right. Knoll is going to find space, and then he is leveled. Hey, Pro Bowler. Ben Skoranek laying the boom at the 20-yard line on the rookie Jalen Knoll. Ran to the right. And then Skoranek, when Knoll tried to cut back upfield, shoulder to chest, dirtbag. Hell yeah. SESR set it past 7 plays, 4 yards. Yep. Oh, quick, back to the action here real quick. They were doing a graphic for the national championship game. 1st and 10, run for Woody Marks, and it is going to just be a gain of 3 yards or so right here. Sit down. Says, "Hi, Pops." Hell of a hit there from Skoranek. Clock is back to rolling here. The Texans have 2 timeouts remaining. Clock is under 1:30 now and counting down. 2nd and 6. 4-yard pickup for Marks. Texans, we'll see how often they put it on the ground here with C.J. Stroud struggling with dropbacks right now. He drops back here looking to pass. Stroud firing. This is going to be to the right, and it's caught by Christian Kirk. He is going to get about 5 yards there. He's going to be left a yard short of the first down. So 3rd down now for the Steelers. And did they take a timeout, Pittsburgh? They did. The Steelers taking their first of 3 timeouts with 1:07 left. I mean, there's a bit of a give and a take with that. Do you really have all that much confidence that your defense is going to get a stop here on 3rd down? I don't know. That leaves you with giving the opponent extra time. Holy hell. This thing is bright. Caught it on my peripheral. Yeah, it leaves, extra time for your opponents, but got to get the stop here if you're taking that time out. 3rd and 1. Texans are 5 for 6 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Steelers 0 for 6. They run a tush push here, and did he get it? Second effort here. It's going to be close, and all right, now he got it. He's all the way up to the 33, for God's sake. No idea how Cade Stover, who took that tush push snap, got all the way up there, but the clock is back rolling now for the Texans. At 45 seconds, Stroud takes the snap. Short gain here over the middle, caught by Stover, and that is going to be a 4 to 5 yarder. And now Houston is going to take a timeout here with 41 seconds left. They are going to need to get maybe another 10, 15 yards here before they could maybe get into field goal range for Keami Fairbairn. Freight train here. Can't even watch this. We're so bad. I'll just be listening. I will let you know if anything changes here, Freight train, but I don't blame you. Najee would have been blown dead at the line. Remember that, LOL. Yeah, I do remember that. Remember Connor Hayward getting blown dead a few times this season. Second he touched, but not there. Nope. That whistle did take a while to blow. Looks like they're content going to half. Well, the Texans are, I don't know. I mean, running the ball, short check downs. They're not trying to push the ball downfield. Maybe that's a CJ Stroud thing. Maybe they're just trying to get their little rattled quarterback into the locker room. If they get into field goal range, fine. If they don't, also fine. I don't know, but hopefully the Steelers are able to batten down the hatches here for the rest of this time. Looking here if there's any new pieces of information out there. The terrible towel twirler before tonight's game, Santonio Holmes. Thought that had a good chance of being Ryan Clark, seeing how he's there for ESPN. There's also a fan in the crowd with a Permane Brothers sandwich hat. Got the meat, the fries, the slaw, the tomatoes. And I not only want that hat, that also makes me hungry for Permane Brothers. Seeing if there's any new cool things going on at that game. Everyone, as we all are, upset with the DK Metcalf drop a few moments ago. Comment section again. All these turnovers, and we got 2 field goals. Sad right now, says Flacco. That is tragic. Tragic. My OCD is locked on that drop. It's a toxic trait. Feels like one of those game-defining moments as of this second. This is exactly how you lose the game to turnovers, 3 points. Yep. See if the defense could, I don't know, maybe get a third turnover before half. 2nd and 5 here with 41 seconds left. The Texans at their own 38. Stroud to pass. Stroud holding on to the ball. Shot down the middle of the field, and it is broken up. Oh, my goodness. Joey Porter Jr. Or no, that is Chuck Clark. All right. +1 in the Chuck Clark category tonight. He just made a big, massive hit on Jalen Noel to break up that easy catch downfield. That would have put the Texans well into field goal range, and Clark, an olden day hit there, laying the boom. Cam Hayward collapsing the pocket up the middle on CJ Stroud there, had a hand to the face of Stroud. Maybe there would have been a penalty there. I don't know. It would have been a ticky-tacky roughing the passer. The Steelers are going to be charged a timeout here after delivering that big hit. Chuck Clark slow to get up. He's now going to walk off the field under his own power. Hey, way to put your body on the line there. That's what earns you brownie points from the fans here. That was all helmet to right arm or to left arm and ball of Jalen Noel. Textbook helmet to ball separation there. 3rd and 5 here. The Texans, are they going to put it on the ground to make the Steelers burn a timeout? Do they risk putting it in the air? Let's see here. You got Marks in the backfield to Stroud's right. Collins in motion. Stroud's going to pass. Takes the snap. Fires short here at the line to gain. It is Christian Kirk. 1 yard after the fact as well. Why do we... Seemed like there we did our signature drop everyone back behind the first down marker. Texans take their final timeout with 28 seconds left. We'll see what the field goal range is for Fairbairn here. Do not understand why we insist on just giving up the free first down every single time. They do that constantly every year, and I don't get it. Clark been better than Duggar lately, surprisingly. That is a surprise concept. Every single play, getting mauled, TJ getting the shit held out of him. All of you saying, I agree. Press up to much space given. Yeah, I'd much rather be in press coverage there, because cannot have that. Got to be competitive on third downs. 1st and 10 here, empty backfield for Stroud. Stroud escaping now, stepping up here, floats one, and it is, oh my goodness. Oh boy, Steelers are counting their lucky stars. Stroud extending the play, stepping up in the pocket, looked like he was going to take off and run. He had a wide open Nico Collins downfield that if he hits Collins, that is going to get the Texans into field goal range. It might even be a touchdown. Who knows? And it went right through Collins' hands. Tiny bit of an overthrow by Stroud. Should have been caught by Collins. Steelers get a break. 2nd and 10 now at the 45. Stroud to pass. Throws it here towards the sidelines. And oh my goodness! Heat-seeking missile. Peyton Wilson tracking down Woody Marks. A thunderous hit that forces the incompletion. Stroud just looking for an easy pickup there and hopefully for Marks to get out of bounds. And my God, Wilson just leveled him. That is one of the more prettier hits you will see. And Wilson was fired up about it. That brings up now 3rd and 10 with 18 seconds left to go. Texans at their own 45. Here are the Steelers here. Let's at least see if you can force them to make a punt. First down marker is at the Steelers 43. Stroud to pass. Stroud, pocket collapsing around him, throws it, and it is caught at the sideline and out of bounds at midfield to Dalton Schultz. That is going to put the ball at midfield, and that is going to be a hell of a hook try. If you're the Texans here, do you try to kick the field goal here? I think they're going to punt. 13 seconds left, 4th and 6. And yeah, they are going to punt. That's smart by them, because Fairbairn, if he misses that kick, then you're in Chris Boswell field goal range immediately. Tommy Townsend takes the punt. Kick here is going to be hitting at the 10, and it is going to roll down to the 8-yard line. The whistles blew with a second left, but Steelers, they aren't going to do anything here. They're going to kneel it down. As a matter of fact, they're just going to say that's half. So the Steelers do not get a chance at a return, but 7-6, they have constantly smacked themselves in the face here in this game. But a 7-6 trailing heading into halftime, trying to stay optimistic here. It's not the worst thing in the world. Defense did their job at the end of that half. They got to do their job to begin the second half. Worst case scenario, still, it's not the end of the world yet, unless the offense, continues to suck. Being down one score by the next time your offense touches the ball, I'll take that as opposed to a blowout to begin this game. So that's half. 16 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Please hit subscribe. Wild, he completed that. Yeah, I thought that was a incomplete, dud to the ground that Duggar deflected. I'm shocked Stroud completed that pass to Schultz. 77 and 71 are moving early every play. Well, if the referees are going to be a good bunch, they say, all right, we gave that stuff away to begin the game. Now, late in the game, you got to tighten up your act. Maybe they start calling it now. At least I'm being optimistic and hoping that they do that. get Rodgers at smelling salts. I'm going to need smelling salts. We're all going to take smelling salts during this halftime break to get the offense mojo back again. Dropped in, missed a block. Sorry, by the way. I really like DK. I'm a huge fan, just struggling to forget that. I'm not blaming you, Concepts. I'm not blaming you. Crazy how Concepts, I know you and Flacco and everyone are bringing up the false starts. Crazy how you're blaming a DK Metcalf drop more than the referees to begin the game so far. Thomas, great blocker. So that miss is frustrating. Those 2 weeks made him rusty. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a shaking off the rust there for Metcalf. I'm hoping that's the case. Defense playing well. Offensively, we're bad again. We were bad in the Ravens game to the last 4 minutes of the game, but it still feels like it's a score every possession of the second half or lose. Agreed. Offense needs to figure it out. Defense, keep doing what you're doing successfully. I think they got Stroud rattled a little bit. Want to see them continue that in the second half. Going to take a tiny bit of a break here for halftime. We'll be back just before half. Going to catch my breath, get a drink. Subscribe to the channel, like, share, leave a comment on your expectations for the second half in the comments section. Back here in a little bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Halftime going to be wrapping up momentarily. Coming out of half, the Houston Texans going to start with the ball on offense, up 7-6 in this one. A touchdown pass from C.J. Stroud to Christian Kirk with the extra point. The difference thus far, the Steelers, despite 2 turnovers, an interception by Y.A. Black, and a T.J. Watt fumble recovery. With those 2 turnovers, the Steelers' offense, putrid right now, only able to generate 6 points, 2 field goals from the mid-30s by Chris Boswell. 12 of you in here right now, welcome to the live stream. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Up over 700 subscribers on the channel now. Next stop, 3 quarters to 1,750. So if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Up to 702. So we did get 1 new subscriber so far here tonight. Shout out to you who did that. Back to this game, though, and then we'll get to your comment section, to the comments here in a moment. The Steelers' defense, honestly, they had 1 drive, really, but that was after they got a turnover and the offense went 3 and out. They had 1 drive, really, where it felt like the Texans imposed their will. But so far, the defense, I'm giving them an A- in my opinion. They have been constantly collapsing the pocket around C.J. Stroud. They haven't allowed too many times where Texans receivers were able to get wide open or get much yardage after the catch. There was a missed play late in that quarter by Stroud, threw it, and it went right through the hands of a wide open Nico Collins. So defense, for the most part, keep doing what they're doing. Just be sure to adapt what you're doing to what the offense may try to throw your way next. The offense, though, whatever sort of stuff you were doing in the first half, just for the most part, throw it all out the window. Anything going Jonnu Smith's way, throw it out. Anything going Marquez Valdez-Scantling's way, throw it out. I know he had the drop, which is a real big difference maker right now, but you got to go back to DK Metcalf, got to get the ball back rolling on the ground again with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a target to Calvin Austin's way. He hasn't been noticeable at all in this one yet, so hopefully the offense changing much of what they did in the first half. The defense, pretty much the opposite for the Steelers here to begin the second quarter. Back to the comment section. You guys here also bringing up another component of this game. The officiating. They haven't had, like, monumentously terrible calls. It's more what they haven't called. False starts constantly by the offensive line of the Texans. TJ Watt getting held pretty much every play. Starting to be a little bit headache-inducing, but hopefully they're able to tighten up that ship here. And this is going to be kicked off by Chris Boswell. And Jesus, another hard hit. Ben Skoranek and someone else for the Steelers. It might have been Carson Bruner. They had Jalen Knoll, the rookie returner, coming up the sideline, and they just blasted him out of bounds. They made sure he wasn't going to get any freebie yard after the fact. Steelers, we'll give them credit. They're bringing some physicality to their play style tonight, which couldn't say the same this time last year against the Ravens. Texans, they start this drive of the second half with C.J. Stroud rolling out to the left, and he throws a completion. I guess something to settle in C.J. Stroud a little bit here. A play action rollout to the left. Stroud hits his man. That's a 13 to 14 yard gain there, and it's a first down play on first down for the Texans. Steelers got to go. Got to go get some stuff done here. Let's go defense, says Flacco. Agreed. This Chargers game was bad. Caleb made magic too. Yeah, the Chargers game last night was terrible. And a run here, and oh no, Woody Marks bursting through the hole. That is going to be a 15-yard gain and another first down. So similar script to how the Steelers started the game offensively. Remember the Steelers, they started off the first quarter with 2 first down gains on the first 2 plays. The Texans, following that similar script, they're already over midfield. The defense for the Steelers back in the first quarter. They tightened up in these areas of the field all the way up to the Pittsburgh 45. The Texans now officially over 100 rushing yards on the day. Stroud to pass. Fires over the middle. It's caught there by the 81, number 81. That is Higgins. And that's a first down for the Texans again. One thing I will never understand for the Steelers, Malik Harrison was just out there. Why are we having our go down, stop the run thumping linebacker drop back into pass coverage? Shouldn't we have Peyton Wilson out there in those situations? Trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole is the Steelers' defense here. We have a bit of a break here. I'm assuming someone's down. Not the start. Not a good start, says Freight Train. I'm going to go to commercial. Baco here, facts. Meanwhile, Higgins has fired guns after the catch. We got called for that. We're talking about the taunting gesture. Would they call taunting for that? I'm not sure if they have a special penalty made up for calls like that. Cam Hayward is down. Oh, perfect. Perfect. That is just great. Great, great, great. Your leader, dude who's been he's probably been the one costing or giving Stroud the most hell. Of course it's Cam that's down. Just please pray that it is nothing serious. Tonight's paid attendance, according to Steelers PR man Burt Lawton, 67,297 people at Acrisure Stadium on the North Shore in Pittsburgh. It's a lot of people. Everyone here, please utilize 88 more. I do not want to see another target go to Jonnu Smith when we have Pat Freiermuth out there just doing cardio right now. Can we please figure out a way to get 88 the ball? That would be smart to get your highest paid tight end in the thick of things here. Still, everyone on Twitter, just like we are, saying the Metcalf drop sucked the whole life out. Out of the sales of this game. Out of the sales of the Steelers offense. There's another one. Everyone missing big Darnell Washington. Good news is right now Cam Hayward, he is standing on the sideline here, still getting looked at by one of the doctors, but at least it's not a blue medical tent situation. 1st and 10 here. Can the Steelers have any sort of answer for what the Texans are doing? Handoff, Woody Marks, and wasn't a first down game, but it was close to it. 9 yards there for Marks. The Texans right now averaging like 15 yards a pop on these plays right now. It's ridiculous. And that time there, massive semi-trucks wide hole opened up between the guard and the right tackle. 2nd and 1. Now at the 21 here. Stroud under center. Marks in the backfield. Schultz in motion. Stroud takes the snap. Another handoff to Marks, and he's going to get a 2-yard gain here and pick up the first down. Now it is Patrick Queen here getting pushed over a pile by Dalton Schultz. Wonder if there should have been a penalty called there. There has been some roughhousing after the play. Some stuff that could have been called, but apparently not. Again, the winner of this game here, looking at the playoff matchups right now, the winner of this game has a date in New England on Sunday with the Patriots. That game will be at 3 or 6:30. No time yet determined. Run up the right side here for Marks. It's going to get 4 yards. Bring up 2nd down. Clock at 11:37 and counting down here in the 3rd quarter. To the comments section we go here. Where's Harmon? Hope he's not out. Maybe he's catching a breather. I'm hoping that's the case. They're doing whatever they want again. Yeah, just whatever they feel like running. It's having great success in the Steelers. Just getting blown off the line of scrimmage right now. Everything was rolling great. Yep. CJ Stroud pass out here to the boundary. It is caught by Dalton Schultz. That is going to be a 2-yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and medium here. Finally, the Steelers got the Texans to a 3rd down on this drive. Bad news is that the Texans are like 7 for 9 or something on 3rd down, so they're probably going to pick it up here. Yep, on cue. I just guessed that perfectly. 7 for 9. Meanwhile, the Steelers' 3rd downs tonight, 0 for 6. Tells you how the offense is doing. 3rd and 4. Stroud on 3rd downs tonight, 6 for 7, 73 yards. Motions a man out wide even more. Stroud to pass with time. Pump fakes. Stroud, nothing opening up for him. Fires. Oh, it's picked off! Picked off by Brandon Echols! And he is going to return it a couple of yards! That's the Steelers' interception, the defense! Incredible again! Flustering CJ Stroud! Let's go! Oh my goodness, this team's going to be the death of me. When they look like all hope is lost, they come up with a big play to pull us right back in. This time it is Stroud buying as much time as he possibly could. And then at the very end, he tried to find Xavier Hutchinson, jumping in front of him. Brandon Echols picks it off. I think he wasn't touched. He probably returned it out to around somewhere between the 15 and 20-yard line. And the Steelers defense, after holding firm to end the first half, to begin the second half, they get a turnover and keep this at a 1-point game. Incredible stuff from the defense. If the offense can just be a below-average offense instead of pure, putrid baby feces, that would be great right now. Please tell me you made some sort of halftime adjustments. Please tell me that Jonnu Smith is not getting the ball and instead Pat Freiermuth is getting it. Instead of giving the ball to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, please tell me it's going to DK Metcalf. Let's get going here, offense. This is great. Exactly like Freight Train says. But if it's all for naught again, then pack it up. Because the defense is going to need to score a touchdown at this point. $5 contribution for the turnover from Dad. He's now down 15 tonight with the turnovers. Love you, Dad. Thank you very much. Turnovers. Coming into this, the Texans being praised as a offense that doesn't turn the ball over. They take care of it. This defense tonight, with their turnover culture, they are feeding off of it. And they are getting into the head of CJ Stroud. Muth and Thielen over MVS and Jonnu. Agreed. Amazing pick and coverage. Impeccable coverage there because there wasn't a certainty that was going to be complete. I think you had James Pierre or Kyle Duggar right behind Hutchinson there as well to maybe reach around and punch that ball out if it got to Hutchinson. But yeah, you had Brandon Echols there. Ball was thrown behind too. They just showed the sky drone footage of that. Jalen Ramsey dropping down in the coverage a little bit, maybe forced Stroud to throw that ball later than he wanted to. 1st and 10 here for the Steelers. It's a handoff to Jalen Warren, and Warren is going to get and back his way forward. Hell yeah, that initially was going to be a gain of 3 yards, but might be double that there after a backward surge, and now it's a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3. Hell yeah. Number 30. How about this? Brainiac idea, genius idea. Number 30, the dude that always falls forward. Let's please get the ball to him more. Get the ball to him more. That's really smart. Freight Train in here, 199 contribution. I'll throw a super here and hope we score. Appreciate that, Freight Train, trying to Will on the Steelers touchdown here. This is going to be another run for Jaylen Warren. He's going to be close to the first down, and now they're pointing first down. Hey, we got a first down. Holy hell. Feels like it's been a while since I said that. We got a first down. How about that? Keep Warren out there, in my opinion. Unless he is absolutely gassed, I might keep Warren out there and run a two-back set if I have to. Have Kenneth Gainwell line up as a wide receiver. We know he's capable of it. Let's just keep one of those two, if not both of them, at all times out there. Ben Skoranek in motion here. 1st and 10, and the Steelers false started here. Please tell me, I saw someone point at Jonnu Smith. Get him off the field! I'm done with it! Get him off the field! Can't catch. Is as agile as a wooden board. And now he's costing you penalties as well. Get Jonnu off the field. I'm sick of his shit. Get him off. Now it's 1st and 15. Good bit of that hard work from Jaylen Warren taken off by Art Smith's fascination and fetish with Jonnu Smith. And on cue, there's another fetish of Arthur Smith's. A screenplay to Calvin Austin that gets blown up immediately for no gain. Genius. And guess who couldn't do a single damn thing worth of a block there? Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Dude is 6'5", but he might as well go to Milan, Italy for the Olympics because he's got absolutely no freaking weight or anchor to himself. You can use him as a javelin in the Olympics. Unbelievable. 2nd and 15 now. Rodgers throws here. Yep, check down. And for good boot, Calvin Austin, yeah, finally gets a target, but he gets ran over. Excellent. Fire Arthur Smith, Jonnu Smith, pretty much anyone with the last name Smith, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. We're going to change Marquez Valdes-Scantling to Marquez Valdes-Smith. Marquez Valdes-Smith in the game. All the 3 of those Smiths. Fire them into the sun. I'm done with it. MVS was a blocker. Why? Yeah, dude's 6'5". Okay, yeah, you get the height advantage. Dude's like, what, $180? They're going for it 3rd and 9. And on cue, as I shit-talk him, there's Marquez Valdes-Scantling for a gain. Thought that was 4th down a moment ago. My bad. Turns out it was 3rd and 9, and they pick it up. Brings up the first down. Finally, one successful play to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and gasped, like my dad says, holy hell, to the middle of the field. One successful gain there for Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That's going to warrant the ball going back to him about 5 other times before this game ends. You watch. Adam Thielen here in motion. Ball at the 29. Rodgers. Handoff. Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell tries to cut it back to the left, and he gets swarmed. I get it. You want to try to cut back and make a play, but at that moment, you might as well just try to push one of your offensive linemen forward and get as much as you can. All of you in here. MVS is terrible. Holy hell, middle of the field. MVS blocking is freaking wild. Yeah, again, dude 6'5", doesn't weigh that much. That only makes, him a target for a low center of gravity corner. Pump fake from Rodgers. Rodgers escaping pressure right now, rolling out to the right, fires. It's at the feet of MVS. Guess who? We're going back to MVS, who's triple covered. And Rodgers almost got sacked, and now it's going to be 3rd and 12. It's like one time we have a bad run, we don't go back to that for like the rest of the drive. But when we have one successful play to MVS, we're going to keep going back to him. It's in there. We just got to get it out of him. It's like a broken clock hitting the time once or twice a day. Jonnu Smith missed another block, LOL. Just tush push it already. Worked on the Bills. Worked for the Bills. Yeah, I might as well put Connor Hayward out there. A tush push would be the most positive thing this drive has. Deep drop for Rodgers. He's going to take a deep shot downfield. He's got Calvin Austin down there, and it's incomplete. No penalty flag. Ball was overthrown a bit. Kamari Lassiter trailing after Austin. Austin is still looking at the video board, wondering where a flag is. And, oh my goodness, Lassiter got away with it. There it is. There it is. On all of it, no PI. I guess it's okay to just grab his shoulder and rip him backwards. You're allowed to grab the good old right shoulder of the wide receiver and just rip him back so that he trips over your legs. Ah, what a fantastic start. This is going to be a boomer from Corliss Waitman. It's fielded back at the 19 by Jalen Knoll, and Knoll is going to be tackled by 40 and 41 here, Peppers and Wilson. And that is going to be the end of his return. That is a terrible no PI call. Pulled his shoulder. Rodgers, arms up. Austin, arms up. Will they get a makeup call? I'm doubtful of that, or I'm doubtful that the makeup call would matter. Feet did entangle. He just grabbed his shoulder and pulled. Yeah. JPJ would have been called for that 100% bogus no-ass call. Oh, you damn right he would. You bet your ass JPJ would have been called for that. Or Jalen Ramsey. But hey, because it's the little guy, Calvin Austin, I bet you if it happens to like Nico Collins or something on the next drive, it'll get called. Because F the Steelers, right? 16 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. This live stream that's growing ever increasingly frustrating, and I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit. A little bit of it came out back there. Will probably be the rest of the way for the rest of the show. For the 16 of you in here right now, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please, please, please hit subscribe. We just got over 700 subscribers yesterday. We are up to 702 subscribers now, so every subscription helps on the road to 750 here. And then after that, 800, and we're well on our way to 1,000 here on the channel. Gonna get back to liking some of these comments here on good old YouTube. Apologize if I did not get to like any super chats earlier. You guys know that I love you all the same. One thing I do want to point out, the poll that I had time to put out there, pregame, 26 votes, 73% of you saying yes, the Steelers end their playoff win drought here tonight. That is a very optimistic look on things right now, given the circumstances. But we shall see. Wondering who in the chat, if you voted no, make yourself known right now, because you might be right at the end of this. 3 turnovers, no points, inexcusable. That, folks, is how you lose a ball game. Tomlin talks about winning the turnover battle, and then he'll come up with some bullshit in his press conference like, we just didn't make enough plays. No, it's called you employ a dude who should be working a 9-to-5 cubicle job at FedEx and making money there, instead of getting a real offensive coordinator with modern day ideals and ideas of football. 1st and 10 here for the Texans. Roll out to the right for Stroud. He's going to hit Xavier Hutchinson. It's going to be a 5-yard gain on the designed play action. To the comment section here. If our defense scores, that may be the only time we get a TD. Play calling this. At this time, the way the defense is going, if we can just get into field goal range, that'd be great. Because it might come down to Chris Boswell kicking field goals the rest of this game. Refs are bad, receivers bad, just terrible all around. Unless it's the defense playing out of their ass, nothing is going to go the Steelers' way the rest of this game, it feels like. 2nd and 5 here. Flag flies immediately on the snap. It's going to be a 2-yard gain on a run for Woody Marks. Let's see what the flag is here. The play continued on after the flag flew immediately. We got an offsides here on the offense? It looks like, or illegal motion. It's Dalton Schultz, the tight end, who gets the penalty here. So we'll take that. Move the Texans back a little bit. Also, for the way the offense of the Texans has played as well, has played too. they might not feel like they deserve to win this ball game by the end of this if they do get out with the victory. 4:40 and counting down here in the third quarter. 7-6 the score. 2nd and 10 here for the Strouds. CJ Stroud stepping up, and he is going to go down. It's going to be a no gain for Stroud. Again, the walls around him closing in, and this time it was finished off by the guy who we love so much. He doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but his impact is felt in the eye test of the game. Derek Harmon, Concepts or someone earlier, I think it might have been Thomas Dowdy, was asking, where's Harmon? There he is right there, getting off of the block of Trent Brown and taking down Stroud, who is trying to escape danger. 3rd and 10 now for Houston. Stroud back to pass with time, fires this towards the sideline, and it is incomplete. Collins slipped out of his break. Pass would have been tough to bring in anyways. And the Steelers defense, a 3-and-out. Thank God for them. God bless them. One thing you will not see, unless it's someone who has a absolutely horrendous gaffe or error late in the game. I don't think when we do winners and losers of this game tomorrow on the channel, you will not see a defensive player in the loser category. A lot can change between now and the end of the game, but right now, the defense there getting A++. This is going to be a punt fielded at the 9 by Calvin Austin, and Austin up to the 24 here. Tried to go more and more right to the field, but kept, alternating between taking a few steps up, going to the right. Was able to get a decent return out of there. And the Steelers offense, if they can just have one heart blip on their monitor, that could be the difference in this game, the way these defenses are playing. Now, please move the ball and burn the clock. That'd be ideal. If I'm them, Rodgers clearly, or the receivers, they don't have anything going right now, passing the ball. I'm running it twice at very minimum with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. You're probably going to get around a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, something like that. I'd rather take that than pass the ball on one of the two, first plays of this drive. So let's run the ball a little bit, burn some clock. Passing isn't working. Get your offensive linemen more involved. Have them go on the attack a little bit. Don't think it's rocket science here. Surprised they didn't call a phantom PI on us. There was nothing. I think it was a pretty obvious slip for Collins out of his break. I hate to be a punt returner. CA3 is a madman. I don't know how punt returners do it, because imagine you're just eyes up on the ball and you just hear the crashing and banging and the footsteps coming closer and closer to you. I'd fair catch it out of fear every single time, because ain't no way I'm having those guys come down, rush at me, and then when I do get my head back down, I got a fraction of a second to move. That is crazy. Keep in mind, obviously, it wasn't obvious isn't obvious to Z. I get that concept. I should watch my usage of obvious. Thomas, I thought the exact same thing there. So now there's how much time left here in the third quarter. Let me do a little bit of an update here. You got 3:42 left here in the third. What are the Steelers at total offense wise? The Steelers have had 8 first downs in this game. They've had 32 total plays. They are 1 for 8 on third down. 122 yards of total offense for the Steelers. 90 yards passing, 32 yards rushing the ball. 32 yards rushing the ball on 11 carries. Maybe start rushing the ball more, because clearly passing the ball 20 times and only getting 90 yards isn't working. Texans, however, their run game has been good. 20 carries, 115 on the ground. CJ Stroud, 149 yards passing. Let's see if the offense can maybe get over 200 yards offensively here, or close to it. That would mean it ends in a touchdown drive. Rodgers faking the handoff. Going to take a shot here, and he's got a man. That is a positive sign. Adam Thielen running across the field and then getting vertical. Rodgers finding Thielen for a nice 18 to 19 yard gain right there. You had 3 defensive backs travel deep downfield with DK Metcalf on a go route. That opened up Thielen underneath, wide open. Great catch by Thielen as well. It was difficult, not on the money from Rodgers. Rodgers faking the handoff here to Warren. Great fake. Positive of the play. Beautiful play action fake handoff by Aaron Rodgers. Negative. I'll give you guys one guess as to who the ball went to. Maybe if I know he didn't do anything the first 8 times. Maybe if we give it to him a 9th time, he'll do something. Jonnu Smith. Whenever the final, seconds hit at the end of the season, pausing that thought, passing here, 2nd and 11, Rodgers just going to spike this one at the feet of Kenneth Gainwell because pressure was collapsing around him, Will Anderson. Whenever the clock hits triple zeros on the Steelers' final game of the season, whether it be this season or even if it's a Super Bowl, I want Jonnu Smith. Could be happy, could be sad, could be anything. He could be holding the Lombardi trophy for all I care. I want Omar Khan to walk up to him and say, yeah, hey, we're cutting you. Because this is terrible. Dude cannot do a damn thing. Calling Scotty Miller. I take Scotty Miller, trying to do a block over Smith right now. Oh my God, it's fumbled. And thank God it's recovered by Mason McCormick. Now the pass rush is getting home because Arthur Smith is allergic to running the ball. And he insists on giving the ball to his brother from another mother, Jonnu Smith. It's a loss of 14 on the play. Rodgers, as he was lining up to pass that ball, I think it was Daniil Hunter who beat Troy Fautanu and knocked the ball out. Yep. Rodgers had DK Metcalf deep. Might have been where he wanted to go there. Punt from Corliss Waitman. That's going to back up Noel all the way to the 13, and then Noel returns it out up past the 20-yard line. But hell of a boot there from Corliss Waitman. He might be MVP of this game, Corliss Waitman. Hasn't had any shanks so far. Why is Jonnu still in the game, though? I don't know. That's a Nancy. Yeah. There's very late. Hit on Rodgers. Very late. I think he swatted the ball out. The referee's attention shifted to the ball then. I'd honestly, at this point, sign another old buddy of Rodgers, Mercedes Lewis, than I would watch Jonnu Smith ever put on a pair of cleats and a jersey for the Steelers. Because this is just god-awful, take the film and burn it stuff from him. And it's every single time that the ball goes his way that the drive is the beginning of the end. Every single time he gets the ball, that's what happens. That's just like getting marked for death. Jonnu Smith touches the ball, and it's a no gain or 2-yard loss, something like that. Unbelievably terrible. 1:29 left to go here in the third quarter. Darnell Washington, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. If anybody has an arm to give Darnell Washington, I will cut off my arm live on stream to give it to Darnell Washington if it means I don't need to see Jonnu Smith again. Pat Freiermuth, to this point, 0 catches, 0 yards, and maybe 1 target? Maybe 1? Calvin Austin also, no catches, just 2 targets from him, I think. You go here to the official ESPN box score here. Take a look at it. Where are the targets? Jonnu Smith, 3 targets, 2 receptions, -1 yard. Calvin Austin, 4 targets, 2 receptions, 6 yards, Pat Fryermuth, NA, not available. Back from commercial break comes the game. 16 of you in here right now. Please hit the subscribe button. Put Spence out there. That's the other one of the predictions that I had for this game. The, the little minute predictions I have. I had a D lineman getting a pick. That was honestly I thought the harder of the two. That happened. Spencer Anderson getting a reception. We'll see if that happens. Throw over the middle here, and it's incomplete. Looking for Nico Collins, and Collins is down. Yeah, he's maybe concussed. Another one-on-one slant from Nico Collins. He's ran a few of those today on Joey Porter Jr. Peasy in tight coverage. Collins unable to. Oh my God! Damn! Oh my God! My heart breaks for Nico Collins. He just concussed the absolute shite out of himself. That one even made me grab my head. You're just talking about no hands, no nothing, just straight forehead and neck right to the ground. Jesus. I don't even want to look at it again. Damn. Thank God also Porter stayed on his feet, because if he would have landed on Collins too, that could have been way worse. And yeah, but he did that to himself. Tried to catch the ball. Ball went through his hands. And yeah, he's definitely concussed. If he passes concussion protocol, that might be the most outstanding thing today. Another drop snap! Oh, and he fell on it. 3 drop snaps tonight. Who is buttering up the football when it gets snapped to CJ Stroud? That is now his 3rd drop snap from tonight. What is going on with him? This one here, again, he wasn't even looking that time. That time it's on the center. Stroud's reading the coverage. He's making an adjustment, and it hits off of his chest. It thankfully didn't bounce enough far away from him. Alex Highsmith almost pounced on it. 3rd and 15. This is unbelievable BS that the Steelers are conundruming right here. Stroud to pass. Deep downfield. He's got a man. It's Christian Kirk. And that is somewhere in the 30 to 40-yard range pickup. 3rd and 15. And the Texans pull that out. It is a 49-yard pass from outhouse to penthouse. Go the Texans. That's tragic. And Duggar in coverage. 49-yard pickup. The Texans still in business, still looking to put up points and extend their 1-point lead. That brings an end to the 3rd quarter. JPJ on Christian Kirk. So Nico Collins goes off the field. Peasy shuts him down all game. Now we're going to get Christian Kirk, of all people, torching Peasy Jr. Honestly, that sounds accurate, of some sort of wacky thing like that happening to the Steelers. Could be Eccles and Duggar there. Whoever it was. Cannot happen 3rd and 15. For as many times as this team does the whole, we're dropping, 7 guys well back behind the first down marker. For as many times as that happens, should not get beat deep like that. All right. 15 of you in here coming in for the ending of this wild ride. Could it be the ending of the Steelers season? It's tracking to be that way right now, but if we know anything with this team, there is more BS ahead. Back here in a moment for the 4th quarter. Or, my bad. Mike out. My apologies, folks. They finally called a penalty. My apologies. Got another play here to Woody Marks, and there goes Nico Collins on the cart. Towel over his head. Yeah, he is done for the day. That's for sure. Concussed to hell and back is Nico Collins. So the Texans, for the rest of this game, they're going to need to go without their wide receiver, one. For my monologue there when we came back from break, even though my mic was out after this play, Stroud to pass with time, fires, caught by Kirk, and it's a 6-yard game before he's tackled down. The final quarter of Super Wildcard Weekend, 7-6 Texans. I would say it's a defensive-dominated game, at least from the Steelers' standpoint. You can maybe argue that it is with their 3 turnovers, but the big story right now, the Steelers' offense not able to do a damn thing with the turnovers their defense has given them, and those 3-and-outs, those piss-poor drives, most of it poor play calling. We got to give the ball to Jonnu Smith and Marquez Valdez-Scantling every other play. That could spell doom for this Steelers season. Stroud to pass here, throwing, and it is incomplete. Looking for Jaden Higgins down the sideline. Joey Porter Jr. in coverage. No pass interference penalty. If anything, Higgins was trying to push off of Porter, and that is going to bring up maybe a field goal here for the Texans. Stroud, day he would like to forget. 3 turnovers, 3 botched snaps. 4th and 6. This is a 51-yard attempt here for Kaimi Fairbairn to break this 7-6 score. Fairbairn, kick on the way. Does it have enough juice? It does. It's good, and the Texans make it a touchdown score game. Finally, after, 2 quarters? Something like that. The 7-6 is erased off the boards. It is now 10-6. And forget getting into field goal range if you're in the Steelers offense now. For as pathetic they have been today, they got to score and put it in the end zone. To the comment section. That fact alone is why we lost. The Steelers not being able to capitalize off of turnovers. Texans defense gave up those plays too. DK caught one, dropped one. The offense is killing defense and team. Agreed. Got Mario Pinto in here. Welcome, Mario. Hope to God we don't get a shitty stat like the Jets going all season with no interceptions, and the Steelers maybe the first team to have 5 and 7 takeaways and still lose. You probably would be something like that, Mario. And then they'll drop like a week from now. Mike Tomlin, so many seasons without a losing record. Million holds, you just call one now, says Concepts. So much space we're giving them. We need a touchdown. Definitely need it in a bad way right now. Points even would just be a start. If the offense is able to put up points this drive, make it a 1-point game again with a field goal, that would be relieving at least a little bit right now. The saving grace right now that could be of what could be for the Steelers is that this offense looked ass for majority of that game against the Ravens. And then once the 2-minute drill started and the Steelers needed to start going stride for stride with the Ravens, that's when Aaron Rodgers turned it up. Rodgers is going to need another performance like that. He's been fairly pedestrian today. Hasn't been his worst game. Hasn't been his best either. Been skittish at time in the pockets. But now, got to put on the Superman cape here. Defense is elite. When they get turnovers, they are. And today they are getting turnovers. Some gifted to them. Some legitimate takeaways. Guys commenting on the broadcasting crew as well. Talking about Troy Aikman. Can't even move into field goal range, and now we need a touchdown. It's about how I could feel the enthusiasm in that comment there, Thomas. I feel it. These medical commercials are ridiculous. Always hope the worst for them simply because they're interrupted by football. Ooh. Well, the medical commercials, they are pretty much appropriate seeing how the Steelers give us heart attacks all the time. Is going to be returned here out to about the 31-yard line by Kenneth Gainwell. Good return for him. Can the Steelers defense against this fantastic fourth quarter Texans defense, can the Steelers offense against this fantastic fourth quarter Texans defense find a way, find a will to win right here? They need something in a bad way. Point LOL from Concepts. Here we go. 13:01 left to go in this ball game. The winner of this game playing the Patriots on Sunday in Foxborough. 1st and 10, Steelers start from their 31. Rodgers, it's a give and a go for a Kenneth Gainwell, and finally a positive play, and it's a run too. Kenneth Gainwell, 11-yard gain there on 1st down. Rodgers, as Gainwell was coming in to run his way, Gainwell turned 180, ran back to the left, picked up that gain there. Steelers now up to the 45. Rodgers with Gainwell in the backfield to his left. Metcalf motions into the slot here. You got MVS at the top of the screen. Calvin Austin at the bottom. Rodgers takes the snap, looking to pass. Rodgers gonna uncork this one deep downfield, and it is tipped. And oh my God, did he catch that? Oh my God, did he catch that? I don't know. It's incomplete. Excuse me. Rodgers just taking a deep shot to Calvin Austin. It was tipped up into the air by Kamari Lassiter. And Austin, adjusting to the tip, nearly brought that ball in on the deflection. Got his fingertips on the ball, and then when it hit the ground, it popped up into his chest. Damn it. That close. 2nd and 10. Please tell me we get a run here to get some yardage and not bring up 3rd and 10. It is a run, but it's not going to go anywhere. Gainwell is going to lose 3 yards. It's almost like the Texans were expecting it. 3rd and 12. It is Tagai, Tagai, whatever his first name is. I believe he's a former Cleveland Brown. Mason McCormick smacking himself, upset with his performance, that rep. Steelers now on 3rd and 12. Dare I say, if you get within like 3 yards of the 1st down, you go for it here. Let's see if they can even get there. That'd be optimistic. Rodgers takes the snap, empty set. Pressure around him, he's taken down and sacked. And the ball came out. And oh my God, they picked it up and they're running it back for a touchdown. And it's Sheldon Rankins. Ball game. Will Anderson strips Rodgers from behind. Rodgers gets hurt on the play. It is then picked up by Sheldon Rankins. Is there no sort of roughing the passer there because he just completely bludgeoned Rodgers in the back of the head? I guess that's not PI, or that's not roughing the passer. Note to self, you can give a John Bradshaw Layfield clothesline from hell, and it's not going to be called roughing the passer. Never a roughing call. What is roughing? I don't know. Do you know roughing? We need to break out the Webster Merriam Dictionary here to find out what roughing is. Apparently that wasn't it. And now, just like that, 2 touchdowns the offense needs to score. Yep. And that right there might have been the play that sent Aaron Rodgers into retirement. Just like versus the Bills. driving Rodgers into the turf. We suck, but the refs are beyond garbage. Can't hit the head anymore. That is it. Back it up. There's, 11:23 left, but who the hell cares? Kickoff from Fairbairn. It's going to be fielded at 10. Unless Kenneth Gainwell houses this. He's going to get it out to the 33. And an extra shove after the fact by a player. No call. No roughing the passer. What is roughing? And here comes the offense. 11-16. Now's about the time where we see Rodgers throw an interception or something like that. Better make drastic changes. Enough is enough. Game, set, match, done. Over. And now here comes the pass rush again. They're going to rush 4 and drop 7 guys back into coverage. Rodgers. Deep shot downfield, and finally when he targets Pat Freiermuth, he overthrows it. I'm the moron for hoping for a fairly called game. That makes all of us. Guess we finally have a Moose sighting. Take him off the milk carton. He's out there running cardio. Burned calories today, did Muth. At least we finished above 500. Another season where we suck. For freaking 21st overall pick. Here we come again. Check down there from Rodgers. There's Azeez Al-Shaair running through Jaylen Warren. Steelers go quickly here. Holy hell. We have a 3rd down and 6 completion over the middle to Pat Freiermuth. Steelers hurry to the line. Flag is down, so watch this come back. They do something good here. It comes back. Unless Rodgers caught him with 12 men on the field. Freiermuth with the catch there. Again, now we throw to Muth. 12 players on the field. Defense penalty is declined. So there's Aaron Rodgers doing his thing, hurrying the team up the line to catch the defense getting slowly off the field. Here's an idea, Artie. It worked throwing the ball to Muth. Let's continue to do that. 2-minute drill from here for the rest of the game for all I care. That's the only prayer you have of doing a damn thing on offense. 10:29, Rodgers takes the snap. Rodgers now, oh my God, he freaking fell. Tried to scramble up out of pressure, and he fell down. Maybe Danico Autry or someone tripped him. Thought he lost the ball too, but thankfully it looks like he fell on it. As Dylan Cook, who got beat that time, or Rodgers just fell. That was Barrett who fell on him. Rodgers is looking for a penalty after the fact of something, I don't know. 4th sack of the night for the Texans. 2nd and 13 now. Rodgers to pass. Rodgers now rolls out to the left, fires a freaking missile downfield, but it's incomplete, intended for DK Metcalf. Adam Thielen or someone was also in the area, but they had no shot at it. 3rd and 13. With 9:40 remaining. Johnny's worst player on the field today. Doesn't even try to get open. Just stands there. Tackled DK before the ball was even there. Looking at the replay here, Metcalf was going for a sliding grab more than anything the defense did there. 3rd and 13. Here we go. Rodgers, the pass, pressure up the middle. It's tipped up in the air, incomplete. So now it's 4th and 13, and Danico Autry again makes the play, and bring out Corliss Waitman, boys. MVP tonight. Hell yeah. And this crowd booing the Steeler offense. Do we get, what's the over-under on a fire Tomlin chant could be coming this way. 4th and 13. Waitman stands at his own 37. Boots this away. Muffed the punt. Oh, he almost did. Had to go down to the ground to secure that catch. Unless the defense is able to get a pick six, fumble recovered for a touchdown, something here. This is going to be the ball game here. To the head again. Clearly rigged game. Can't touch quarterbacks' heads anymore. Just thud like a 2x4 to the back of Rodgers' head. That forearm from Will Anderson does not get called. We also suck ass, but that is also ridiculous. Yeah, both things can be true here. Let's not forget that. The referees, they miss some stuff, yeah. Does the offense have any excuse of being just infant diarrhea? Nope. That's also on them, more so than the refs. Gifted multiple opportunities by your defense and you didn't do a damn thing. Pissed it all right down the drain. Guess we'll have a fun day back here tomorrow, recapping this. We won't, at least I'm trying not to. I'll get ahead of this president. We'll talk about the game, tomorrow, and then we'll have plenty of time during the off season to get into who should the Steelers get rid of, who should they keep, all of that. We'll get into that a little bit. Also, what we'll get into once this Steelers season is over, Pirate baseball right around the corner. We'll have some stuff to report on spring training, pitchers and catchers report next month. Also, we will be on the channel, at least a little bit, covering what goes on in the Olympics and the World Baseball Classic. The Olympics, we'll cover Team USA and all that good stuff. Same thing for World Baseball Classic. Paul Skeens headlining the pitching group for the WBC for Team USA. Excited about that. And then by the time we're through all that, baseball starting up, hockey, by the time we're done with all that, the draft will be right around the corner. And we'll talk about that even. We'll talk about that a bunch, I'm sure. I'll see if I'll have the time to do, a whole big draft breakdown of each prospect, but I'll at least get a base level knowledge of the players. As if it matters a damn here. Not sure, but maybe Renegade just played there in Acrisure Stadium. I don't know. Handoff here goes to Woody Marks, 2-yard gain. Browns and Texans both ranked number 1 defense, tied. Both we only score 6 points. I think if they weren't so deathly afraid of Myles Garrett, they could have scored more than 6 points against the Browns. But that's still a maybe. Muth and Jonnu, never been in the playbook. I mean, Muth, when he gets thrown the ball, stuff clearly works. With Jonnu, nothing works. Freight Train here with a $5 contribution after this play. 2nd and 8. Stroud, quick pass. No sort of press coverage whatsoever, and that's a free first down for Jaden Higgins on a quick play. We may have lost this game, and we suck ass, but still happy. Stumbled onto your channel. It's nice meeting everyone this season. Appreciate you, Freight Train. Appreciate all of you as well. I am, of course, not oblivious to it. I bet, 90 to 85 to 90% of this channel is football people. We will keep football content some way, shape, or form churning on this channel every day throughout the off season, whether it's the draft or whatnot. But do appreciate each and every one of you coming in here this season. Gained a ton of new followers, more than I was expecting. So appreciate that. All of you good people on here. Appreciate your comments as always. Hope the Steel City boos them at the draft, gives them bad optics. The only way that changes is if massive change gets made. Like Not even sure 100% Tomlin doesn't get booed at the draft. But then again, draft, do we really expect it to be overwhelmingly Steelers fans? You're going to have people coming in from everywhere in the world to that draft. It's going to be a, 70 to 30 crowd, foreigners or, people outside of town coming in to compared to Steeler fans there. I think already, the hotels and stuff all around Pittsburgh are booked up to hell and back for that week. It's going to be 3rd and 4 here. The Texans trying to milk away clock here on the ground. 8 for 13 on 3rd down conversions. It's 3rd and 4. Clock now at 6:50 and counting down. Play clock at 10. They keep it on the ground again. Do they put it in the air? Stroud to pass on 3rd and 4. Stroud firing. Crosser caught by Kirk, and he is going to get up past the 50 and all the way up to around the 40. First down pickup. And he stayed in bounds, so the clock continues moving. Concepts, appreciate you accepting me for the ref hater. Wouldn't have it any other way, Concepts. No, I can be annoying, but believe everything I say. Context is important. Always fight for that. Appreciate you, Concepts. Probably the most active of the commentators, of the comments on here. 77 moving again from Thomas Dowdy. Handoff. Woody Marks. 2-yard gain. It's almost like the Steelers could have used this strategy. Get constantly 2 to 3 yard gains on the ground. Put yourself in a 3rd and 4 constantly, and then pick up little stuff from there. Instead, we pass it on 1st down, we pass it on 2nd down, and we're behind the sticks with incompletions right off the bat. Can't believe this is the product we put out there. DK's drop literally the entire season ender. Hindsight being 2020, that being the beginning of the end. 2nd and 6. Stroud, handoff. Nick Chubb. He's going to come into this game and be like the closer now, right? Haven't really heard much of Nick Chubb. It's been mainly Woody Marks. And now Chubb is going to come into the game as the old Steeler haunt and end it. 3rd and 3. Again, put the ball on the ground twice. Let them pick up what yardage they can, and here comes the quick out route or something like that across everyone's faces. That picks up the 1st. Clock is at 4:40 and counting down. They're already back in field goal range, are the Texans. Stroud, snap, run up the middle. Chubb, 1st down. Now they are just bullying the Steelers. Flag is down. It's on the Steelers. Penalty is declined. 1st down. Watching the dying breaths of this Steelers season. All momentum we had to start the game vanished. Those of you in here right now, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, if you enjoy the misery. This will be the 9th year now since the Steelers' last playoff win. And with the many uncertainties at spots in this team, especially the quarterback, we might go a decade before the Steelers next win a game. Second and 11. Nick Chubb run. Shakes off 1st contact. What could have been a 2-yard gain instead becomes a 7-yard gain. Six points. 3 turnovers. Disgusting. There's a face mask penalty. The boot on Nick Herbig. Sounds about right. First and goal at the 8. Stroud under center. Noel in motion. Out of all the times in the game, they finally freaking call a false start. Now they call it. It is Ariante Ursary, the left tackle. There you go. Bet you guys in the chat are loving that. First time they finally call a false start, and that happens. It's the blank stare of Mike Tomlin on the sideline. There's Omar Khan and Art Rooney. Sell the team, Art, or give it to your kid. Your kid's had twice the football brain when he was 11 than you've had the entire Steeler tenureship here. There's a touchdown run for Woody Marks. That's going to make it 23-24 with the extra point oncoming. And that is how the Steelers' season and the career of Aaron Rodgers ends. Do we honestly think, after the hell he put through tonight, that isn't going to affect his decision? Not even a 4-time NFL MVP could save this team from the inevitable hell that awaits them every single year. 9-8, 10-7, and a first-round exit. I also showed Terrell Austin on the sideline. He can go too. I get, somewhat excited about Raheem Morris potentially coming in here and being a DC, but then again, he'll probably suck too. 24-6 with 3 minutes and 38 seconds left on the clock. That is all you need to know right there. Right there. The fun never stops. Not a single moose sighting till the end. Unbelievable. DK Metcalf since the drop. Completely invisible. Bill Cowher went 8-8 with that team. Ben wasn't with Cowher's quarterback. Also like Cowher, but he hated Ben. Never wanted to draft him. Not sure where that's coming from. Concepts must be from a comment earlier. So comical. Everything is comical. Return here from Kenneth Gainwell. One thing I want to put on record here, before the start of next season. Love Kenneth Gainwell. Love Jalen Warren. Wouldn't mind if that, same running back tandem comes back next year. Can we please find a more explosive return man? Because both of those guys just ain't getting it done in the return game, for being honest here. Occasionally they get the ball out to like the 35-yard line, but there's not a threat of it getting back to midfield on any given kickoff. How different is the game with a fairly called game without the DK drop? Maybe much, much different. Be pissed if it wasn't good money. Be pissed if I wasted good money on this. Well, good news for us. We didn't spend money to go to it. Food was cheaper. Bathroom lines were shorter. Don't have to travel to go to bed. And you weren't cold. All positives. Yep. You know everyone's mailing it in right now. It was a 2nd and long there after a first down incompletion. A Rodgers screen pass to Kenneth Gainwell dropped. Wonder what that guy is thinking. Showed TJ Watt on the sideline. Still, not a single playoff win for TJ Watt. Hate to say it, but if 90, I know he just signed an extension here, and he came on strong at the end of the season, minus the lung situation. I know that really messed him up. If he wants to go elsewhere, then who can blame him? 3rd and 10, pass caught short by Kenneth Gainwell, tackled immediately. It's going to bring up like 4th and 6, something like that. 4th and 5. Cam Hayward on the sideline. I bet he's looking at a tablet, but it looks like he is completely ready for bed. Also, who knows what's up with his future either. Hayward has 1 year left on his contract. Could this be his penultimate year? Rodgers firing, picked off. Kalen Bullock, 40, 30, 20. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. They quit. Pick 6. There's my final score for the night, by the way. Put Mason in, says Thomas. I doubt they're going to do that to Rodgers here unless he wants to sit out. Mason Rudolph does have a helmet on, so you might be onto something there. Mario Pinto, love my Steelers. Guess at 55 I've seen 3 Super Bowls. Hope I see another before I leave this earth. Guess I could be a Lions fan. Yeah, witnessed 2. One that I was, really conscious for. One thing I would hope to mention, or one thing I will hope to witness in my lifetime, probably more impossible than the Steelers winning a Super Bowl again. The Pittsburgh Pirates win a World Series. But I'm not holding my breath there. As if it matters, Fairbairn just absolutely kicked the line drive, extra point, low. Saves us from getting our asses kicked next week. Yeah, Art Rooney II, smiling about that, doesn't need to pay an extra week of team salaries and can save money on the jet fuel to New England. Rest dressed all week for this. Indeed we did, Concepts. Indeed we did. Rodgers still on the sideline in a beanie cap. Score is 30-6. But then again, I fall back to this right here. Who gives a agreed? Well, for as pathetic, just rolling over and dying of an ending to a season this is, we will finish out the last 2 minutes and 39 seconds here. It's the least we can do. We've come this far. Might as well finish out the nightmare again. I guess, just trying to keep glass half full energy here. I know we'll bitch and complain, and rightfully so, about another stuck in the middle season for the Steelers, where they looked absolutely horrendous, where they looked, good one week, horrendous the next, and then got the doors blown off of them in the playoff game. But at the very least, it's not like we were terrible this year and then we go to the draft and there's no quarterbacks there. Like, we would have been fine with a 5-12 season. That still wasn't enough to get you the first overall pick, which Fernando Mendoza, he's really only the quarterback that's a slam dunk first rounder right now. So I guess Will Howard, Trinidad Chambliss, quarterback room 2026. Very least it'll be youthful and fun storyline to talk about. I don't either. Just in general, everything is a compilation. Team overachieved technically. People kept ignoring Texas being the number one defense. Overachieving, 6 points. He's also the reason we don't throw over the middle of the field. Multiple coordinators in multiple years of not using the middle of the field. Only common ground is Mike. Yep, middle of the field, ground zero for Steelers offenses. All of you starting to slowly get fed up. All of us are happy you decided to do this, giving us all peace to share our joy and absolute misery. It's all right. Yeah, I'm giving you guys, peace of mind and an opportunity to vent and let off steam just as much as I am to you. You guys are doing it with me. I'm doing it with you. Leaves us, clear-minded with, not much frustration, because when you don't get to talk about this stuff, then it builds up and it carries over into other aspects of your life. Like, even though they lost this game and pissed about the team, talking about it with you guys in real time, reacting about it, it's not gonna, really, it'll dampen the rest of my night, but it's not going to drive my mood for the rest of the night. I'll walk out that door and whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to carry over any frustrations to any other aspects of my life. Going to do a Penguin stream now. I did a Penguin stream on Thursday night when the Pens beat... Who did they even play? I'm forgetting. They beat the New Jersey Devils, I think. Did a Pens stream on Thursday. I'll definitely do more Pen streams as we go along now that football's over. It was like a month span between doing Penguin streams for me because we've been so focused on football. But yeah, Pens live streams, that'll be the sporting event that carries us for the next little while. And then, yeah, we'll talk Penguins hockey over the next little bit. We'll, I'm sure, talk about this game and talk about, what should change with the Steelers. Those few weeks will carry us into spring training for the Pirates. Then we'll get into some heavy Pirate stuff. And then summertime, we'll do Pirate live streams and all that. And the draft in Pittsburgh, I'm sure we'll do a ton of work on the draft and talking about that as well. So, yeah, Penguin streams. Not sure when the next one is going to be. I usually try to find a large storyline when I do Pens live streams, like Evgeny Malkin's return, for example, on the last one. So we'll see. TBD on when the next Pens live stream is. I'll watch the Pens games that you do. Appreciate that, Freight Train. My dog makes me happy. She makes everything okay. Life is good. Frustrating, but good. And I got three puppers that I'm sure are going to be all up in my stuff after this game. Mason Rudolph is in the game for the Steelers, and they're just running the ball right now. I don't even know what they've been running. Yep, it is Rudolph. Also, final snaps in Mason Rudolph's Steelers career. That's a question. I don't see how he's going to be brought back next year, honestly, because either the Steelers are going to take a quarterback in the draft. They bring back Aaron Rodgers, but regardless, Will Howard should be the backup next year. I think after a year sitting on the bench. Jaylen Warren's going to end his season on a high note with a 11-yard run right there. Signed a 2-year deal, I thought. Yeah, but just chump change. Pretty sure the Steelers can just cut him and not take much financial hit. Sorry, shouldn't have watched. Screwed us over. Nah, sorry, concepts. We're just now remembering that you watched the game from the kitchen or something last week. That's all right, concepts. Even if you didn't watch the game, the outcome was probably going to be inevitable. What the hell are we thinking when we thought this year was going to be any different? This game was going to be any different? And with that, the final seconds tick off the board. It is official. The final score: Houston 30, Pittsburgh 6, or as I have here, Houston. Who gives a Pittsburgh? Arthur Smith. That's your final score. So, I think that's going to be it, guys. Appreciate you all one more time for stopping on by. Maybe we can get Harbaugh. Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about some Stranger Things right there, upside down? Most of us had us winning 4 games. We won 10. All the same ending, though. Will Howard to start. Build around the 6'4", 200-pound dude that has won at every level of his career. Definitely deserves an extended look. And there, the cameras, of course, on Aaron Rodgers. He walks off the field maybe for the final time in his career. Gotta wonder how many lasts are on that field. Is this Rodgers' final game? Is his career over? Does he walk off into retirement? Cameras are around him like it is. What's Cam Hayward and TJ Watt's future look like? Probably will be here next year, but, beyond next year, that's a question. What coordinators stay? Does Tomlin finally, by some miracle of the almighty up above, get fired? We shall see. Just taking a moment here to watch Aaron Rodgers walk off. That right there was me just watching Aaron Rodgers. They followed him all the way back to the Steelers locker room. Did not appear to be showing any sort of emotion except for the agony of defeat. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is longtime teammate with Green Bay. When Rodgers finally hit the top step to make the left turn to go into the locker room, put his hand on Rodgers' shoulder. Rodgers then hugged MVS before going into the locker room. And now, unless, here in this press conference that I'm sure Rodgers is about to do in 10 minutes or so, unless he confirms it himself, we are left now to the speculation of if Rodgers will retire. Is that true, their concepts? I didn't have the volume up because of, the microphone right here. If that's true, then just that's horseshit. Because 42 years old, you didn't question, whether Rodgers gave a crap this year or didn't try. That rarely, if at all, came into question. So I will leave on that positive note. If that was it for Aaron Rodgers, thank him for 42 years old coming in here playing some damn better ball. We talk about expectations for this team. I think Aaron Rodgers, in some way, shape, or form, exceeded our expectations for the season, from being a consummate teammate despite the terrible reports about him from the Jets or his play on the field. So I want to give Rodgers his flowers there if that was it. But the offseason that will be filled with questions, that now lies ahead of us. Jonathan Harvey in here. Tomlin in his losing playoff record should put nails in his coffin. We shall see. They did it with John Harbaugh. Are they going to do it with Tomlin? Is Art Rooney the second? Is he going to see the change that his biggest division rival made? Is he going to follow suit? We shall see. 7-6 to 10 or 7-6 to 10 or to 30-6. Another blowout loss and a Tomlin exit. Will Anderson and the Jesus talk. Religious people. Yeah, I'm not getting into all that there. Jonathan. Coaching overhaul. We only hope. Still support Coach T, but also respect others' opinions too. Don't blame Coach Tomlin for playoff losses. Context is important to me. Well, then again, I'm not going to. We're too fresh from this to get into who's to blame for what. All I'm saying is that the constant variable in all of this is Tomlin. Doesn't matter if it's Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett or a 4-time MVP and Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Doesn't matter if it's Matt Canada or Arthur Smith. Doesn't matter if it's Terrell Austin, TJ Watt's out there or not. Steelers keep finding a place to lose. Just ready for change. Nothing against Mike T. Haven't had an offensive-minded coach like ever. Just ready for change in general. A change would be reinvigorating. Whether it's good change, bad change. Just something new to look forward to would be nice. It's going to wrap it up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on stream for over 3.5 hours. Thank you all for joining me for, I would say, every snap of the season. I think there's been a time or two where we rage quit Steelers games, like that Bills game, for example, was one. But this one, because it was the last one, we suffered through the final moments of it. So I want to thank you all for joining me for every single Steelers game this season. Appreciate you all. Appreciate the comments, the many appreciations you guys give in the comments, the paid contributions from all of you guys. The subscriptions, up over 700 subscribers. That is awesome. Hopefully, we'll see if we can get to 1,000 before the start of next season. But if we don't, looking forward to hitting 1,000 subscribers this time, or be over 1,000 subscribers this time next year. So, all in all, another Steeler season that was up, down, all around, ending in another agonizing, similar style. But here on the channel, personally, was a good year getting to interact and get to know all of you. So I appreciate that as always. So for the final time, this Pittsburgh Steelers season, 11 of you in here. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Come on back here tomorrow. We will vent about this game and maybe a few other things. We'll also talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They didn't do too hot this weekend. But please keep on coming back to the channel, even with the football season coming to a close. We'll still talk about football, but come on here and check on the other coverage that this channel does for the Steelers and the Penguins as well. We'll do some Olympic and World Baseball Classic stuff too when those times come. So appreciate you all. Another Steelers season wrapped up in deja vu fashion. But at least on the channel here, we all come to some sense of peace and are able to interact with each other and become good friends. So that, have a good rest of your Monday night. See if you can get some sleep. And we will talk about all this tomorrow. On to the offseason, hopefully one of much change for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thank you for the comments. Have a good rest of your last 36 minutes of Monday night. See you back here tomorrow. Peace.